The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Yeah.
No, I got dreams for PS4. I'm playing on PS4 Pro because I don't own a PS5, at least not yet. I got it for free because it was part of like the PlayStation Plus thing or whatever the hell. Like,
Oh yeah,
and it's cool. I like it's one of those things where I wish I could create on it and port it to other platforms because I feel like it is very intuitive. But the fact that it's stuck on the PlayStation, like that Dreams eco, it's the same thing with Roblox, where like I see a bunch of like phenomenal fan made like Roblox games and Dreams games and stuff like that, and it's like, man, like why are they just stuck on here? I wish you could just port them to like Steam or some shit. Like that would be awesome.
That'd be insane. Like even if they took like a majority of the sale or something from it, like I feel like it would be nice just to be able to have those games on PC.
Legit.
You know.
Yeah, I think they talked about doing PC, but then like
they canceled it.
Never doing. Yeah, they just canceled it,
which is like very unfortunate.
Treason.
Like it's Dreams reminds me of like a very beefed up version of like Little Big Planet. Like it's the same kind of vibe for me. And
it kind of was,
I love Little Big Planet so much. So I was like, I was actually ready to like dive straight into this and be like, yeah, I'm gonna create some shit on here. But then like I started thinking about it, and it's like, well, like I don't need it for the music aspects because I have my own like studio space, and if I make a game on here, it's kind of stuck on this platform, and I can't really do anything with it.
It's like it's a limitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unfortunate, but there's some good shit on there. There's some great stuff that people make on there. Like there's a good bit of Sonic games that people make, and they feel incredible.
Who wants to introduce?
I think Dave should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Dave.
What do I say? I don't have a script.
You know the first, you know, welcome to Sunset City spiel.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to Sunset City, everybody. I'm Dave.
You like completely
to the right of me. I have.
It's okay. It's fine.
Trey.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Take two.
Wait,
no, I'm kidding.
Well, you guys you put me on spot, so like you know.
I say let's hear him out.
Are you not a fan of the show? Like, how do you not know?
As the CEO, I mean, let's hear his abridged version. Let's see what he's got.
All right, my abridged version.
Sure.
Well, yeah, you were abridging it. That was what you had. Like, I just want to see the original Dave Ace vision for.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sunset City, the #1 stop for all your Sonic talk. I
like that.
We've got Trey.
Hello.
Trey Parker. Trey Noble.
Yeah, it's I. I create South Park. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. You know what? I think I saw that the other day.
I think I saw South Park.
I think I saw South Park now that I think about it. Beside me, I also have Channel Pup.
You can do it. There we go. Yep. Hi.
Yeah.
Why was that so hard to say?
On the far left of the table is Garrulous Millhouse 64.
There you go. Millhouse.
I said earlier, let's get Dave in here let's get Dave in today.
I see you, Frank, in the chat.
It's so funny how how Garrulous, how Dylan was like, let's get Dave in here, and then Dave's just like Millhouse.
He's the Millhouse play. I can't believe this.
Millhouse can't catch a break. I'm sorry.
But yeah, today we're talking about Sonic racing games.
Again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it. But Dave, before we do that, do you want to do the housekeeping?
Yes.
Housekeeping.
Yeah, you know, the housekeeping, the iconic housekeeping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
The iconic housekeeping.
Yeah.
That in which we go to houses and keep for other people.
Help him out, someone get him.
Okay, so housekeeping. Super chats will be read at the end of the stream. Appreciate anyone who decides to be generous and gives to us. We very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. We also have a Patreon that you can donate to if you want to. If you donate enough, you'll be able to possibly, I don't know if we're doing it today, but be a part of like the pig pen whenever we have
pig pen
people,
today.
Like...
Pig pen.
No pig pen. Okay. Well, fair enough.
But one of the
I
benefits.
feel like that might be good on a day where we don't have too many topics.
Dude, not today,
That's
man.
True.
Just trust in me when I say not today.
Oh, okay. No, okay, fair enough. You're right.
No, just trust me.
Okay.
I trust you.
I haven't done anything bad. So, anyways, yeah.
Why would why would that even be part of the
that'll tell 'em.
conversation? Like, what are you talking about?
You've got to shout out the bat enjoyers.
Yeah, the bat enjoyers. Like that's
You have to
part of
shout
the
out their-
Pigpen thing.
No, that's not part of the Pigpen. The Pigpen is just the call-in show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the shout out is different. Is it recorded on the piss? Is it there?
I'm not going to tell you where it is. I expect you to have these names memorized.
Oh my god.
Memorized.
Yeah. Well, they
Alright.
give you money. The least you can do is remember their names, guys. Come on.
They're giving
my
you
lord.
money.
I'm just
It's
a
money that
guest on the
gets-
show.
Distribute. None of the blame is on you, Dave. It's okay. It's just,
Hold on, I'm looking for the thing.
I'll tell you if you really want to know.
Hold on, I'm almost there. All right, I've got the shout outs here.
There you go.
So for our $10 bat tier,
Mm-hmm.
bat enjoyer tier shout outs, we have My Great Rolls, Ven 101, Aiden Fitzgerald, Stardust Chaos, Crimson Rose, Mr. SP, and KB.
I noticed something.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
About the name Migrate Rolls.
Yeah.
Cut it in half and you've got Migrate. You should all migrate.
Yeah.
To England?
Yeah, come here.
Okay,
I'll
so
hardly-
where does the
Excuse
where
me,
does
Whoever
the
keeps
rolls
highlighting the text,
yeah,
please
come
stop it.
from?
So
You're
are you
really
saying
freaking
that
me
like?
out.
So you're saying that Migrate Roll's full government name is Migration Rolling?
Migration Rolls.
Migration rolls? Migration.
Yeah,
Rodents.
migration. Migration
Delicious.
roll.
All right. Okay, yeah, so that's about it. Thank you for
Who's
supporting the show, and if you want to support the show as well, get shout-outs during the stream, and also possibly call in during the call-in segments when they're happening. Click the join button below
Who's put their
or
microphone in a
in the
ventilator?
chat.
Dylan,
What?
your microphone sounds like it's in an air vent.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a lot of atmospheric noise coming from you.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Hold on.
that noise suppression is not working?
Sure isn't. Hold
Yeah.
on.
He's too massive to be suppressed.
Interesting. 1 second.
Okay. Take your time.
Yeah,
Forgot, I can still
we'll just
turn-
wait.
All right, that might be better.
That's
Is that
much
better?
better. That's way
Yeah,
better.
that's
Okay,
better.
Boy, do
Okay.
I have a Sonic racing game that I can't wait to talk about.
So last week was one of those weeks where it's like we've got a cool topic, and we have a fun episode, and we're all like, "Hey, fun episodes, guys!" But we all know that we want to do more with like just the basic topic. You know, we get carried away in the antics. That's all of our problem. We all share the responsibility. It's definitely not just me. And so for this week, we're gonna go a bit more into it. This ain't gonna be a brief history of Sonic racing games. We're getting straight in. And the other thing is also just regarding Crossworlds. All the exciting stuff happens later tonight. We'll all be having our own little live streams of that you could check out as we get our first hands on things. So, Memory Lane, Sonic Racing Generations. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
So, let me quickly do some Googling.
Couldn't you have done that
let-
before the
dude,
stream?
Let me look up.
Do you
the
not
Sonic
know of
racing
all the
games.
Sonic racing games?
No, I need to check. Okay.
You
It-
not-
it-
you
it's
not
Sonic,
already
man.
No, it's a racing
own-
game. Okay, so look, Sonic and racing. Started by
Yeah?
saying, "Look, Sonic and racing go hand in
Yes.
hand. Like they were
Yeah,
born
pretty
together."
much.
Okay,
They're married.
because Sonic's very first appearance was in a racing game,
Yes.
It
That
was.
game I don't know the name of.
Radmobile, and it is a racing arcade game developed by Sega AM3. And are they the people that are developing?
They are the development team behind Crossworlds. I believe.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah, they're back. And yes, Sonic makes his first appearance in this video game as a little dingly dangly.
This is his first ever appearance, that guy. I was
Just
proud
a-
of him.
Just a keychain.
It wasn't a keychain. It's one of those little dingle danglies that go around the
They killed him and they
the
hung him
power-
from the mirror.
the rear view. But yeah, so
But, yeah.
character who
I
made
don't
his
have
first
anything to say
appearance
about that game.
in a racing game.
So
His destiny
like,
is racing.
was he like an air freshener like Sonic, or was
yeah,
he
he's
just
a
like...
he's a dingly dangly.
What do you think he
Smelled
smelled
like,
like?
What do you smell like?
They
Yeah,
smell like
what's
chili dogs,
what's like Sonic's aroma? Is it just burnt rubber? Like what is
burnt rubber,
yeah.
Cinnamon.
that's
Like-
disgusting.
He smells
Cinnamon?
like cinnamon.
You think
Cinnamon?
Sonic smells like cinnamon?
He smells like cinnamon.
Eh.
Yeah. It can't be explained. It's like when you pick up a dog and it smells like, cheesy Doritos. There's no actual like explanation for that. It's not like it's been near fucking Doritos, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I guess so. I guess that's just the end of that.
Yeah,
You know?
Sonic is cinnamon scented, I've decided.
All right. Sonic
Yeah.
is he goes to Annie Ann's.
No,
Yeah,
there's no explanation for it. Like a dog that smells like
Cinnabon.
Doritos.
Yeah, he goes to Cinnabon. Yeah.
He
I mean, yeah,
uses
he-
that
he
that
famously
pretzel, like,
loves-
perfume that just came out.
Yeah, he
Pretzel
famously
perfume.
loves like pretzels and cinnamon and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the cinnamon challenge every day.
I think
And he fucking loved it.
yeah, with
Why,
no
why do you
water.
think he runs so
'Cause he hates
fast? It's a
water.
gag
Yeah.
reflex,
Yeah, he hates
Yeah.
water.
He hates water, so he doesn't like drinking it, doesn't like swimming in it. So like he just chugged that cinnamon down without even thinking about it. It's like it's the equivalent of eating like 10 Popeyes biscuits without getting
Oh,
water.
no.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Delicious
just the
but
worst.
dry.
Yeah, or like KFC biscuits, like
The
the
Sahara
driest
Desert.
fucking yeah. It's
Yeah.
like awful.
So that's Radmobile. Anyway, okay,
Yeah.
onto the next one.
All right.
Okay,
We're off to a great start.
hang on, I gotta do some Googling
Talk
real
about it.
quick. I gotta do some
Gotta do some Googling.
There's got to be a Sonic racing game timeline somewhere.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it. I just gotta quickly
They're all
Google
here
my-
on the.
No, I'm
Yes,
not.
you
I'm not googling using the search engine. I'm using
I'm
the
not.
Google Docs. So next up,
Okay.
before we get to like the big boys, Sonic Drift 1 and 2, I want to talk about like Sonic racing adjacent stuff. Because the other week it was it was brought up that Sonic CD has some racing in it, and I just responded no. So I wanted to actually reopen
No.
that dialogue.
Okay.
Do you mean like because of Metal Sonic?
No,
Yeah,
it was
the
just, it was just kind of
Metal
a
Sonic race?
it was just kind of a sad no as well. It wasn't like a yeah. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about this. So Sonic
Okay.
CD, Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 all had racing elements here and there, Like
Yeah.
for example, Sonic CD obviously doesn't have like a multiplayer mode or a devoted racing mode, but it does of course have the race against Dave Ace.
Oh yeah. That's,
Here. Yeah.
Crazy that he was there back then.
I love
But,
this Hugh meme.
Neither here. Yeah. Yeah, I think honestly, in terms of like the concept of racing, like an opponent and everything, and we'll talk about this later. Sonic 2 did that as well with its multiplayer.
Yeah,
I think that's a
Sonic
cool
3,
way
right?
to incorporate.
Yeah.
Like it's a cool way to incorporate like Sonic's moveset in like a very cool competitive like way. And I think like the Metal Sonic boss fight was like one of the more creative boss fights of that era because of that. Because it's like, oh, you actually have to like be fast. You can't just like cheese a boss by hitting it like on top of itself or whatever the fuck. Like
yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's something
cool.
different and stuff. So, like, yeah, Sonic CD kind of introduced us to the idea of, like, a Sonic racing experience, I guess. I mean, to be honest, like, from Sonic 1, you could see this had racing potential just because of how fast the boy is. But, yeah, so Sonic 2 comes with the multiplayer mode, which is obviously, like, the competition race thing. And, gifted us a selection of racetracks from levels from the game and stuff. And that was pretty neat. Like, I don't recall anyone having an issue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, from the modern perspective, I would say the screen is way too squished.
yeah,
in,
the
like, those
screen
racing
is
modes, but
way
Oh,
squished,
yeah.
but
Like
other
it's
than that, what can you do?
it's you talking about like the Sonic 2 like
Yeah, the
Mhm.
multiplayer
player stuff.
because like it kind of like it gives you each half of the screen. It's like there's no other alternative really. But
Yeah. It's
know.
also like hardware wise, it's very weird because the multiplayer is a completely different resolution than the rest of the game. So like
Mhm.
in some like HDMI upscalers and converters, it has to like wait a second to like basically convert the picture again to the different resolution and then put it back up on the screen. It's very odd. I don't know how they could have gotten around that though. I feel like a vertical split screen would have like made things impossible to see.
Vertical
Oh,
split
yeah.
screen was
Vertical
not. Yeah,
would
that
have looked
wouldn't.
even worse.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be the answer.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I said,
a diagonal.
there's nothing they could have really done, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know how else they could have done it, but I think it's very novel, and I know that like a lot of people in the '90s probably had some memories of like, racing each other and stuff like that in Sonic 2. It's pretty nice.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, like some of my first memories of playing a video game ever were playing the Sonic 2 multiplayer with my sister. But there's that one power up you can get in the item monitor where it causes the screen to go negative, and it makes that really loud jarring sound as you're sent back to an earlier point in the stage. That used to scare the shit out of me back then.
Yeah.
Like, you got to think, I must have been like 3, and like that the screen going all negative and that really loud noise spooked me, and I did not ever want to hit any of the item capsules in the multiplayer. If I saw that fucking question mark on that TV box, I was like, no, we're not doing it. No, thank you. No way, Jose. And in Mystic Cave, it was scary already. It was fucking scary already. Mystic Cave was scary as fuck as a kid. But this was, oh god, heavens to Betsy, no.
Heavens to Betsy, no. Also, I think it was cool that like correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if it was Sonic 2 or Sonic 3, but there were like some exclusive multiplayer levels. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, so Sonic 3
yes.
is a bit different in the multiplayer department. For what the screen crunch somehow manages to be kind of even worse on that mode, as like they've gone back to kind of like a square aspect ratio, but everything is so crunched down in size. And so it causes the levels to feel incredibly small, but then Sonic is also dinky, yet moves at the same speed. So, like, everything...
the sprites are smaller, right? Like...
Yeah, the sprites are way smaller, but it moves the same speed as the main game, and it's not proportionate. So it ultimately causes these races to feel so quick, and just quick and dirty. And I do like the fact that they went to the trouble of making, like, original sprite artwork for these, but, yeah, it's not as well realized as the Sonic 2 competition mode.
I wish, because I feel like they were on the right path with the smaller sprites. Because like I was thinking about that with Sonic CD, because you have like I want to say it's Wacky Warp. No, it's not Wacky Warp Mitch. I think it's like Metallic Madness, where you go through those like light beams and you turn to a smaller, like almost chibi like Sonic sprite, and like that would have been. And I feel like if because Chibi Sonic actually controls okay in Sonic CD. He's a little quick, so it feels a little weird.
Proportions are still the same around about size, and the camera is still at the same angle. So while he does feel a little zippy, it's still moving at a pace that you're used to. Whereas like with Sonic 3, it's like it's not proportionate. His speed
it's not balanced. Yeah, I feel like if they balanced out the speed and the acceleration to match your size and everything, I think it would have been the best competition mode of the classic games.
But
just because it's
discovered that in Sonic Origins, if you go on the multiplayer mode, who am I kidding? You don't play multiplayer at home. Have you seen that they actually changed the Sonic 3 competition mode?
I actually didn't.
They made the sprites the normal size and they fixed up the physics, but the thing is, the levels are still so dinky that it just doesn't feel like it.
That's weird, actually.
So they kind of went the opposite direction of how to fix this, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting because like it seems like racing has always kind of been in Sonic's DNA, even for games that have just been strictly platform based. Like I think that's pretty cool.
Any favorite levels from those games? I really like Assure Late.
I
think of the music as well, because like the level layouts themselves are just so nothing. But let me actually look at their aesthetics. Let me do some googling.
I'd say Azure Lake. I think I like that one the most.
Azure Lake, and then what was it? Chrome Gadget.
In a way, you've kind of got all like the main genres of Sonic level in there as well. Like they're pretty all encompassing.
Oh yeah,
there's like a carnival level, I think.
Yeah,
it's like a roller coaster level.
Azure Lake. Azure Lake is really pretty, actually.
I'm so upset that they won't like make that an actual stage. Like If that were an actual state, I think
Yeah,
I'd
for
really
real.
like it.
Like they'll bring back Green Hill Zone 10 times, but Azure Lake, nah. Nah, brother.
Yeah, honestly, like it is funny how some of the cooler like stage like gimmicks and theming is just on the multiplayer side of things
just-
for these classic games. It's kind of
We
funny.
really like the
Endless
color
Mine also kind of had a bit of a legacy though, because Endless
Oh, yeah.
Mine, the music was kind of reworked into City Escape in Sonic
Yep.
Yeah.
Generations.
Very good.
Oh
song,
yeah,
too.
you're right. Yeah.
So it's kind of neato. Oh, another thing was
Yeah,
that
it is
the
neato.
characters in the Sonic 3 competition mode didn't retain their abilities either. So like Knuckles couldn't glide, Tails couldn't. I
Yeah.
think Tails could fly.
Yeah, that's
Um,
unfortunate. Yeah.
And Sonic couldn't use his Insta Shield. Not that you'd ever need the Insta Shield, but like.
Oh yeah.
I guess they wanted it to be like a blank slate so that anyone who's playing any character has the same move set. That way no one feels cheated. At the same
But I
time
think
though, like
Tails can fly
the
though.
well, like
So they wanted to do that, but they did it wrong. That's what it sounds
yeah,
like.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my opinion, it's cooler whenever you have different characters that do different things, but they're balanced, like to each other. If that makes sense. Like you have to
Yeah.
know that character in order to beat the other one, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how it is. Advantages and all that. Well, following that then, we move our merry little way over to some more racing gameplay in Sonic.
Freaking love racing games. Sometimes.
No way. Sonic and racing. They should make a Sonic racing game, guys.
No, I
That
feel
would
like
never
I've
work.
kind of said all there is to be said about these in the previous episode, but Sonic Drift 1 and 2, anyone have anything new to add to these? I remember actually playing them on last week's episode.
Yeah. I played a little bit more of them because I've been testing out, and I'm still doing that, putting together like my gaming room setup and everything like that. So I've been playing my GameCube a lot, and
Yeah.
I've been playing like Jim's Collection, which has Sonic Drift 2. And again, it's one of those things where it's like I feel like if I'm playing this on hardware, it would actually like be way more novel than playing it on a big screen because blowing that game up to a big screen just doesn't do anything for me. But if I'm holding that chunky ass Game Gear and playing the game, I'm like, oh yeah, this is.
I guess it's part of like the
cool,
experience. It's like playing the game.
It's the
Gear
vibe,
kind of
yeah.
overtakes playing the game in a
like,
way.
like I mean, not to brag or anything, but like I got a Sega CD with OG Sonic CD, and oh my god, I'm gonna fucking shut up. But anyways, but I'm getting to a point. I already own like 4 copies of Sonic CD even before I bought my original Sega CD. Like I already have like quote unquote the best versions of the game, but it was still super cool to go back and play it on original hardware like how it was intended, because there's a lot of cool like quirks, and it's like very impressive that this add-on for this system is playing this music, playing this game, all this other stuff. Like it's a cool experience. And I noticed, and like I know that other people are like, yeah, that's how it's always been, but like the remakes automatically put you into the bad future when you're facing off against Metal Sonic, and the original game does not do that. So it's a thing where it's like I already got all the time stones beforehand, so I was racing against Metal Sonic to this happier music of like the American like future music and stuff like that. So it's a completely different feel. And like I say all that to say, like I think what you're playing these games on has an effect on the experience themselves. I feel like I would enjoy Sonic Drift 1 and 2 way more if I was playing them on the Game Gear proper, rather than just playing it through like an emulator or on like the Jim's Collection or Origins or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so-
oddly, kind of relates to something I was saying earlier. I was having a conversation with my flatmate Dom, and I was kind of saying like, ever since Spider-Man 2 released on PC, part of me has been thinking like, you could sell your PS5, and get a more powerful PC and use it for Blender and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, but I like having a PS5. It's like it's the console. I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice to own the console, I guess. But the more I get about it, the
I mean,
more
I get
sensible
that
it sounds.
sentiment a lot, especially with like a lot of like PS1 games. Like I know you can easily emulate them, but I like to actually have it on actual hardware. It's just nice to look at.
Yeah, like either on a PS1 proper or even a PS2. I feel like the experience is terribly different. But yeah, like I'm always a big fan of having like designated pieces of gear or hardware that's good at this one thing, rather than having one, thing that's good that's okay at a lot of things, if that makes sense.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, like
Yeah,
I have.
Sometimes it's too powerful to just emulate.
Well, it's also like it's also unwieldy, and also like, especially in the case of like a PC, like it can also be unpredictable in terms of like
oh yeah,
updates
you'll run into like
and
game
yeah, and
breaking
even when you
issues
have
and
like
stuff.
the right hardware, sometimes there are just inexplicable reasons why things don't work.
Mhm.
But like at the same time, I was just thinking
Yeah.
like, yeah, but dude, you do so much more on PC, and you could use a bit more power. But it's also just like, I would miss my PS5. I think.
yeah, like it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
experience of like the UI, turning the system on to holding that controller in your hands. It's everything. Like that, it's why I collect a bunch of old video game and keyboards and shit. Like people see my keyboard wall and are like, why the fuck do you have that much keyboards and much why do you have so much like guitars and stuff?
Many accumulated treasures.
Oh my god, I'm not
so many
like, look,
keyboards that I was able to afford over the years because I'm so wealthy.
I'm not wealthy. I just look at good deals. That's just how it goes, Like, but regardless, I'm not like, I know you're being a little funny.
I'm not
and,
wealthy. I just know how to save my pennies.
I'm not wealthy. I'm smelthy.
Smelty? What does that mean?
No, I'm not wealthy. I'm
It
It
dangerous.
means you can
You're-
sniff out a good deal.
But regardless, yeah, most of my keyboards I've gotten for like less than $100 each, and I'm very happy and grateful that I was able to, acquire this stuff. What I'm saying though is that I can go to a keyboard and I know what that sound is going to be. So if I need
have
that
so
sound,
much knowledge.
can I please just finish my thought? I love you, Pop. Mwah. All right.
I have so much knowledge.
Yeah, I have so much knowledge.
I'm burdened with glorious knowledge.
I'm Trey, and I'm the CEO of knowledge.
It's
yeah,
like
congrats.
it's like, yeah, I have my Lamborghinis and Ferraris behind me, but you know what I really value? Knowledge.
This is literally
Yeah.
you, dude. This is you.
That's not what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I know, like, anytime I go to like my Roland Synth Plus 80 or my Yamaha PSS like 460 and stuff like that, I know what that sound is. Like, in terms of the Yamaha 460, that is essentially a Sound Blaster card, like put into a keyboard format. It's a 2-operator FM synth, and it can do like the MS-DOS type sounds, which is super fucking cool. But like, a lot of my music friends are like, yeah, just get like a library of like virtual instruments and use like a MIDI keyboard and stuff like that. Like, trust, like, they're like, it would be a lot easier. And I'm like, for me, it's not really easier. And plus, there's a vibe to it. I get like tactile controls and shit with these synths, like, same with like consoles and whatnot, it's the same kind of deal.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad I could get that out. Now you can make fun of me.
No. I would never make fun of you, Trey.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, look at me. I'm Dylan and I'm a liar.
I'm surprised
that's
that
fun.
IRS clip isn't up on shorts yet. It's still very funny.
I haven't made shorts because I was like, maybe the 24-hour stream will be enough. And so
Do
far, I don't.
both. There's no such thing as enough when it comes to YouTube.
I know, but I'm so
That's
lazy.
true.
Oh, you're so
If you ever need help,
lazy.
I guess
Just
like
let
putting
me
together.
make the shorts, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to make shorts, that's
Bro
fine.
has become part of the team.
I can definitely make some shorts.
You guys
and
want to
then,
do
like,
shorts, and I will maintain this shit.
Yeah,
Then
and then
that
just like
seems
send
a
them
good
to
balance
you.
if you want.
and
I
then
can
you
send you
can-
like anything that I was using, or
And I'll continue to
Easy.
do nothing.
you continue to rake
Okay.
in the profits.
We are getting off on tangents though,
Sorry, yes,
because
yep.
it is a thing where I was trying to explain my point for the past like 20 minutes, and y'all just kept being like, "Oh, I'm Trey."
Yes,
and
we all did,
I
didn't
got
we? We're all
stuff.
very sorry.
All of us, yes, every single
Yeah.
one of us.
We would like to make
All
a
right,
group
hold on
apology.
1 second, guys. I've got to go for a bit, but I'll be back.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Take your time.
All right. So
I miss them already.
so Sonic Drift 1 and 2, I feel like were very novel at the time, and it is novel if you can get the original hardware, but they're just nothing games nowadays. Like they're
Mhm.
like a bad mix of both like Super Mario Kart from SNES and Outrun. or like pole position. You know, like it's the same.
Yeah, like
kind of
Mode 7 racing
guess
game.
yeah,
type
like the
thing.
pseudo pixel
Almost.
scaling, whatever. Yeah,
It's something
I don't
that's
like
more
not being able to see. Like it makes it feel like it's not real when I play. I know it's not real. Don't
there's
hit
no
me with
depth
that. But like,
perception. Like,
there's
no, I
no
get what
depth
you mean though.
perception.
Like,
You can't see what's coming because there is no track. It's just like a series of left and right turns that you have to make. And it's
everything
like,
you're seeing
agreed.
is just
it's for the Game Gear, it's like I understand, but for me, it's like I like the sprite work for the most part, especially in Drift 2. Other than that, I don't think there's really a huge reason to play them unless you're doing like I'm playing every Sonic game ever.
for the Game
you know,
Gear. I
kind of
guess
thing.
it's kind of impressive they were able to pull off that kind of thing. But like,
Yeah,
like
I agree.
as it's one where it's more kind of a museum piece than it is
Yeah.
something you play for
And
fun. Like,
And Drift 2 is better, I would say. Like Drift 1 is kind of boring. Drift 2 is slightly better. Like they did
Yeah,
improve.
yeah,
So
Drift 1 doesn't have really anything going on. Like, it's just kind of
it's
a very
nothing.
it's a nothing burger of an experience.
yeah. Basically,
Yeah, you'll blow through
like,
that in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
well, it's again, it was thing that was just novel. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. And
It's like Super Mario Land 1 on Game Boy. You know, it's like
yeah,
this is the first Mario platformer we have on the go, and it's fine.
yeah. But Super Mario Land 2, that's like a legitimately good game. Like
Very good.
yeah, they did. And it doesn't get talked about nearly as much as the first Super Mario Land. And I guess it's just because of I don't know, maybe again the novelty of it. I'm pretty sure. Like it's all vibes.
Crazy.
It's all fucking vibes. Like that's like most of everything. So
It's insane because Mario Land 2 is so much better.
Oh,
if you
it's-
like that game, Trey, there's actually like at Sage last year, there was a Super Mario Land 2 remake in the works, and it's got a ton of content, and it's really good.
I am
I'll
so down
go
for
on.
that because I have all the Mario Land games, and then it eventually bled into Wario Land and shit like that. So like,
Yeah. Shit,
Um,
good shit.
yeah, good shit. But yeah, what's next on the docket in terms of like racing games for Sonic?
All right, so here's one that's going to get quite interesting because I recently played it properly for the first time. But Sonic R is the next one on the docket.
Mhm.
And
Oh yeah.
You must be mad to the-
Me, never indeed is
I
love.
should have picked the song. I knew the lyrics better.
Oh, look
'Cause
at
you're
me,
my
I'm
number
Trey, and I can
one.
sing, and I know the lyrics. Oh.
It's a good song. Look, like, okay, so here's the thing. TJ Davis at Sonic Expo last year, she was a sweetheart. She was amazing. She didn't play the credits theme though, and I was like,
Oh,
"What?
you saw
What
her at
happened?"
Expo. Oh,
Oh my gosh!
I saw her at the symphony.
I got to have a conversation with her. She's a sweetheart. She's amazing. But yeah, no. Regardless, what did you think of Sonic R? Because I'm very interested to see your opinion.
Me?
Who's starting?
Okay.
Well,
So,
I'd say
I-
Pup. Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
I'll just go ahead. So the first time I played Sonic R originally was actually at Nick's house in his game room, and he was showing off his Saturn, and we played Sonic R for a bit, and I couldn't get to grips with it. Granted, we didn't spend much time on it, and I didn't think it was great. You know, the characters didn't control very well. The draw distance was really, really bad. Obviously, very impressive that this thing was able to run on the Saturn, and looking back, the Saturn one definitely had the best water effects of all of the versions of it. But
That is true. Yeah. Yeah.
it was last week where I think it was Frank that was recommending that I get the PC version of Sonic R, purely for like the sake of mods and just being the better version. And yeah, there was a weird discovery for me was when I got to the end of the game and in the credits it said Sonic R 2004 edition, because like, yeah, we kind of have a remaster here that no one actually ever talks about, really. But obviously, like, this was the version that was released on PC. It's the version that made it into the Sonic Gems collection. And having now played the whole thing the whole way through and gotten to grips with it, I love Sonic R. Like,
Heck yeah.
for one, just the visual aesthetic of this thing paired with the music is just such a unique style. It's something that there's no other Sonic game quite like it, and I think it's one that is so central to kind of classic Sonic that it's like, yeah, I think, you know, I'd like to see more like this in the future. From, like, say, the Christian Whitehead team and stuff. Give us something similar to Sonic R. But also, when you first pick it up, it can be a bit deceptive because it does let you accelerate with the joystick, is something I noticed.
Yeah.
Which is deceptive because that really isn't the optimal way to play it. It's much better to just have a finger on the accelerator and then use the joystick for turning.
It plays better if you treat the characters like they are a car, which is funny because only one of them, or two of them, I guess, are technically in cars.
Yeah, because it's Eggman with his Eggmobile and then
Amy. Yeah. And it's like, I was intrigued by like how each character had their own little advantages, but also just quick flash forward to the future for a second. Team Sonic Racing had transforming vehicles and stuff, right? And that was like a big thing. Sonic R fucking has them. Amy, when she drives her car onto the water, you see the wheels come out, and it turns into a little boat. That's so impressive.
You know what's funny? I hadn't thought about that specifically because she doesn't go through like a gate to do it. It just kind of happens.
But there's a number of things that absolutely blew my mind about this. So one thing I was doing wrong, one thing that was kind of killing me in a lot of races in the earlier part of the game, was that it took some getting used to understanding that there's like a left and a right brake. I was like, okay, I don't need two brakes, so I'll map one of the brake buttons, and then obviously it wasn't working right. So I kind of looked back at it, I was like, oh, it's a directional kind of drift or a turn tightener, and I realized that Sonic controls really fucking well in Sonic R. Not only is it, he's a bit like a car, but like the build-up of speed is really nice. There's a good inertia to it, but also like with those brake buttons held, you can make some really tight turns. You can stop him pretty easy. He's got a nifty spin dash, but then I did the ultimate test. All right, are you ready for a huge discovery?
Okay.
Yes.
You know, it's always been a bit of a mystery as to how to get loops right in 3D.
Yeah.
In Sonic R, I went up to a loop and tried to go it slowly, and it doesn't let you. It only lets you go around it if you're moving at a certain speed, but then you also can't just jump to the other side because there's a little barrier up. It's part of the geometry. They did it! They fucking did it on their first try. They got loops
Tales.
correct.
They are wizards at that company. Actually, Pup. Sorry, I feel like Trey, you're about to mention this exact same thing, maybe, but like,
yeah.
have you ever watched those videos by the creator or one of the creators of the game on Game Hut? How he talks about like all the crazy shit they did to make that game work.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, like
those are very good videos. Like it's one of the main devs, John Burton, right? I think his name is.
Yeah.
And he just talks about like all the technical what now and like how they made 3D Blast and Sonic R, and there's some stuff in there that's like these guys were on another level.
Like, these developers were incredible.
Shit work.
But the other crazy thing I kind of thought of was like, this is a nice responsive playstyle once you're used to kind of the left brake and right brake thing, and it's just a really nice control scheme. I was thinking, wouldn't it be amazing to have a platformer play like this? It doesn't really matter that the controls are a bit car-y. It's like that could be part of its appeal. But I was like, there is definitely potential here for a Sonic R-style platformer game. But as it is, I really do enjoy that PC version, as well as its other modes like tag mode. It's really funny to watch the other characters just drop dead. And then also, something I found so interesting is like collecting all the Chaos Emeralds and beating the game. It's got kind of like that final story kind of structure of like Sonic Adventure. And when I got to Radiant Emerald, I was expecting something really tough, but instead it just kind of washed over me. I was like, oh man, it feels like the game's giving me a warm hug. You got Diamond in the Sky, which is a great fucking track. The track isn't overly...
The one that makes...
Are you good?
That's really funny.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. I just had like a... Well, that was silly.
But anyways...
Knuckles' gliding felt good. The only, the character that felt like she was at a bit of a disadvantage, go figure, it was Amy, because that fucker can't jump. And, like, there's that one part where there's a shortcut that's reliant on going up these stairs in, I think, Regal Ruin. And I was like, Amy is at a huge disadvantage here. This also has my favorite ever character model for Metal Sonic, because he's never looked scrunklier. And my favorite thing is that Tails Doll and Mecha Knuckles, they'll celebrate if they win, they'll emote, they'll be sad if they lose. Metal Sonic just kind of sits there holding his tummy.
He'd be dead, he'd die, yeah.
Yeah. It's like the pseudo crossed arms thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, Sonic R is it's definitely a special kind of game for me because I get why it was like lambasted. Like I'm not sure if it was lambasted at the time, but definitely got lambasted a little later on, and then got a resurgence of like love
I think at the
later
time
on after
it
that.
was considered like a huge disappointment because it was like quite a while off and like between Sonic games, and like people were hoping for the next main one, and the game's quite barren for content. That seems to be the perspective of the time from what my research says. But it's something where with time the style of it has aged really well. Like it's gone from being restrained by limitation to looking perfectly worthy of being its own art style.
It's so funny because like whenever TJ Davis started her concert at Expo, I was standing right next to Nick. And Nick is just looking out just in disbelief because he's like, I never in a million years would ever think that anyone would be cheering for Sonic R Sonic, basically. Like Sonic R music, like because he was in the camp for the longest time, and I don't know if he still is. I think he has an appreciation for that music, but he was in the camp for the longest time where he was like, yeah, no, the Sonic R music just sounds like Richard Simmons workout tapes, you know, like in like stuff
Nick
like
has
that.
weird taste when it comes to things like music. Like you gotta like
That's
take
fair.
Nick. Like Nick is quirky when it comes to that kind of stuff. Because
I would love to still, and we've talked about it for at least like a little over a year and a half now, ever since Origins kind of came out, about like talking about the music of Sonic and why like Sonic 3's like replacement music like misses the mark and stuff like that. And I think the contrast between me and Nick would be very interesting in that regard because I feel like we do have different tastes when it comes to that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, like, but seeing Nick who did get a Saturn as a kid to play 3D Sonic, like he was there when the scrolls were written, you know, like Sonic R fans nowadays are like people who were born either like right before it came out, like myself, because I was born in 95, or like well after the fact, where they didn't even like see any of this stuff, like any of the context of the past. But I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's awesome, and
I absolutely
it is funny that you mentioned
the Sonic R OST. I think the
I love it too. It's probably one of the most like it's definitely of its time, but it's also just a thing where it's just good music first.
It's another
if that makes
thing,
sense,
though, where I think
where it's
time's been kind
yeah.
to it, because the fact that it's a little dated, the fact that you don't really get music like this anymore, kind of makes it more special, you know? Like,
That's
it
true.
could be that someone out there is, you know, they've collected all the new Jack albums on the market, all that kind of style of music, Europop, etc., and they're like, is there nothing more to discover? There could be Sonic R just waiting for them, you know? Like,
That's
it's
true.
effectively an album that's probably gone undiscovered.
Every Sonic game is just a fantastic album with a game attached to it most of the time. Like that's how I view it. So yeah.
The thing is though, like also just the way Sonic R looks, it just looks fantastic. Like I'd love another game with that aesthetic.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's funny that you mentioned the water, how it looks better on the Sega Saturn, because like I mentioned this, I love the era of consoles where to show off a console's power, they had to render water better than the other person. You know what I mean?
Like thing with Sonic Adventure though, wasn't it? Like Chaos.
Yeah, no, like the beach stuff and everything. Like, yeah, absolutely.
But also like Chaos was there to show, like, look at all the kind of fucky shit we could do with water. So then when it went over to the GameCube, which isn't quite as robust with water as I guess the Dreamcast must have been, they just
like
kind of made it
Sunshine.
look like glue.
Yeah.
No,
Sunshine, Wave Race.
Yeah, like
well,
when they ported Sonic Adventure DX, it's interesting to look at because, for one thing, they ported Sonic Adventure 2 first, which is always funny to me because I guess
that's
people
true.
like that one
and then
more.
They ported DX.
Yeah, they port DX afterwards, and it came out so much worse. Like they fucked up the lighting engine, they fuck up just about everything visually speaking. And then finally gets to Steam and like more modern consoles like the Xbox 360, the Xbox One and stuff. I know this was a tangent, but like it's just crazy how that game devolved from the original version to like
Oh, Dave had to, I guess, go. Hopefully he'll be back. But
I didn't realize he was still on the call. I thought that was
No,
Puck
he was
drop.
he was just muted. Yeah, he was just muted in the call. But
Yeah,
like,
we'll see what
yeah,
happened to Dave in a bit.
Yeah, that's no worries.
Just something I'm noticing people are talking quite a bit about, like TJ Davis in the chat. And it's funny, Trey, you brought up earlier that Nick didn't really think you'd have like a room of people cheering for TJ Davis. Takes me back to the Sonic Symphony last year, which, you know, the UK one had the exclusive appearance of TJ Davis and Richard Jack.
Heck
and
yeah.
you had a massive auditorium, like a multi-thousand people auditorium, going crazy for the Sonic R medley.
Yep.
It's good.
Like,
It's very good.
But it is banger music. Like, Nick is
like,
interesting when it comes to music. The man doesn't like singing or the notion of singing, so you know?
I
even
I
Sonic
get
song?
that. Like I talked to like Wayne as well, and Wayne doesn't like voices in
Wayne
music.
likes
if that makes sense.
instrumentals.
Like instrumentals, and
We
and
have
I
some
get that
quirky
because
fellas on this show. We've
they're phenomenal people, and like but yeah, like it's again like because I remember the era of YouTube where every single YouTuber that did like a top 10 fucking like worst Sonic games or whatever, they always put Sonic R at number 1, and they always talk shit about the music, and they always say it sounds awful and it doesn't fit a racing game, which is
It's
bullshit.
like, get out of
because
town.
it
This
does.
is like the ultimate Y2K fantasy.
Yeah, like not only that, but like think of any other soundtrack from that time. Like think of like even stuff like I'm trying to think like Virtual Racing, like Daytona to an extent, Need for Speed. Like they had like Europop and like stuff like that, like ingrained into their like ethos, you know? Like so yeah, like people were just hating just to hate even back then, but like yeah, it's interesting seeing the public perception of Sonic R and the music of it like do a complete 180 basically.
It's become a capsule of the time, hasn't it? Like it's a style that people really enjoy. And I think we're going to see even more of that with like Sonic Adventure. You certainly would if it were made more readily available for people, because just like the Fruitiger Aero, like that aesthetic is like so in with Gen Alpha at the moment that they would probably see fucking Emerald Coast and just do a backflip. Like
just lose their minds. Like I'm ready for consoles to start showing off water again. I think that's what's missing in the console market. They need to get their water rendering down pat.
Water stopped being a focus.
Yeah, like there's lingerings of Xbox like getting out of the console market and going like pseudo third party. I'm just like, well, you should have rendered water better. I don't know what else to tell you. Like if you rendered water better, you would have been in the game. Like what are you talking about?
No two ways about it. But it's like I can still admit that I guess at the time, it's slim for content. It was probably quite underwhelming if people were waiting for another Sonic game and people were waiting for Sonic Extreme. What I can't fathom is that, in like the 2000s, like Sonic R was getting put at the very bottom of like some of the worst Sonic game lists, and it's just like I can't see that. I can't see that at all. It's funny, those same lists would also say like Sonic CD's the best Sonic game, and it's like that's not
because Sonic CD like was the elusive one. That was the one that not a lot of people had at the time, because I think Jim's Collection just came out and everything, and so people were starting to play that a little bit more. But it was before the remaster, so like, and even Jim's Collection was like not super. I don't think it sold like gangbusters in my opinion. It didn't sell as much as Mega Collection Plus. I don't feel. So yeah, like that, like it's a thing where scarcity made these products like more elusive, but I guess it didn't work for Sonic R because people just didn't like what they were going for with it. But it's whatever.
Webster also makes a good point in the chat, saying if Sega would stop re-releasing the Mega Drive games and just give us a Saturn and Dreamcast collection, complete agreement. I want it. I want that really badly.
Like, give me Sonic Jam. I want Sonic Jam on. Like, I want a better way to experience that game. Like, well, not only that, but you get the best of both worlds. You get fantastic ports of the Genesis games. So if you really need those Genesis games in this collection, boom, you get Sonic Jam on there. It's the Saturn version. And then you get Sonic R. Throw in 3D Blast Saturn, you know? I think that's a great port of that game. And then get the adventure games in there, and you're golden. I'd buy that day fucking one. Are you kidding?
You know what I think would be really
and Knuckles Chaotix. That's a good point, KB. Knuckles Chaotix should have been released with Jim's Collection. I still believe that to this day, and I can't believe it hasn't. Like, so dumb.
I wouldn't call it a Sonic Gem. I would call it more
like you mentioned you got Sonic. you mentioned you got like Sonic Jam, so you got those classics. I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
what if you had like a Whitehead remake of Sonic Jam? So you've got the 3D world in there, and it's very faithful. But then for the games, you've got the Origins versions, and then maybe emulate things like
I would have loved if Origins just went that route in the beginning, in my opinion, because the menus were made in Hedgehog Engine 2, and I'm sitting here just being like, oh, how cool would it have been if you had a classic version open zone thing. That way you could like pseudo
literally my
thing. That way you could have like pseudo advertised Frontiers, because it was right before Frontiers came out, and like it's like, oh, this is like a little bit of a taste, but in a classic format. Like that would have been awesome.
It's almost too good to be true, because I'm thinking, obviously, no, it wouldn't be on the scope of Sonic Frontiers, but imagine the classic Sonic Islands, West Island, South Island, Angel Island, as open zones. But that's too good. You can't put that in Origins.
I would have loved just one.
That's
I just would have loved. I would have loved like one medium-sized island where you had all the locales kind of like mushed together a little bit. Like that would have been fine. Like and then have the Spinball Mountain in the background or something. That would have been cool. But no.
Yeah, you could have. Yeah, I mean, for maybe a future game, they could do it. That's one way to get me happy to see old levels again. Would be to revisit those islands and see them as open worlds and like
open zone type deals.
And again, rather than like individual islands, it's like one big island, and it has varied locales in it, like kind of like I guess like Hyrule, like
just an Angel Island one. Like I think that would be what I'm most interested in, like just a big Angel Island world that you can explore and like see the different biomes and stuff. Like I feel like that'd be cool.
We got to bring up our Green Pal again, because I think he mentioned in his dream Sonic game thing he wanted like an open world Knuckles game. This was before Frontiers. He said he wanted like an open world Knuckles game set in Angel Island. And it's funny because when Final Horizon rolled around, he almost got exactly what he wanted, but it was such a sloppy version of it, because he was like, no, Knuckles' gameplay is awful in that.
They did fix a little bit of it, but his climbing
was improved.
Still sucks, and it was improved, but not
It's
enough,
not the potential of what a Knuckles open world game could be. Like, it's, again, Oranos Island is not Angel Island, put it that way.
But regardless of that, I say let's get back to the topic at hand. Sonic R, I think, is still fantastic. I have yet to play the Saturn version proper. I don't own it yet, but I plan on getting it like possibly like next week.
Gotcha.
Like it's going to be the Japanese version. I'm going to get an action replay because it's way cheaper to do that than to get an American version of that game, because it's just way too fucking expensive. But no, I'm excited to revisit it, especially in its original format. I think it's going to be super novel, but it is a thing where it is an acquired taste. Like you said, Pup, it's like you kind of had to like ease yourself into this game. It wasn't like it clicked immediately. Like you kind of have to like
also
get used to a lot of
like,
things.
Yeah, like the first context of playing it as well was about as casual as could be, because it was primarily just I was hanging out with Nick and he was showing me like the Saturn, and we played like a little bit of tag and a little bit of something else on Sonic R, but we didn't really get around to doing much else. And yeah, because you initially play it and it's jarring, it's like, I guess that can kind of infect the whole first kind of play of it. But like coming back to it on PC, I had like the understanding of how these controls are meant to work. But even then, it took me a second to figure out the whole left brake, right brake thing. So it's like there are certain sensibilities that take getting used to with it. However,
I agree on that, because like I think all of the bad reviews of the game and people saying it's not good and like they don't enjoy it is probably the same thing that you've experienced already, Pup. Is like when you played how it was originally, released on the Saturn or whatever.
Yeah.
You said you played that at Nick's house? You
Yeah.
played the Saturn version. It controls very awkwardly. Like you can't use the triggers to accelerate. You can't change your controls at all.
That's true, yeah.
It's like, I think that's why, because when you came back to it, like you said, you were able to change that stuff and sort of get the control scheme a little bit more. Like the people who played it back then didn't have the option to do that. So to them, it probably does suck. Like, I don't think I would play the game on console. Like, I've only really ever experienced it on PC using the PC port and, the controls changes using...
Like the mapping and stuff.
Like, my friend showed me, like, what to put on what control, and it's great. Yeah. Like, I freaking love Sonic R. It's, like, a great, like... You can play that game all the way through 100% at probably, like, an hour or two. Like, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
If they sold that on the Nintendo Switch, easiest $15 anyone ever made out of me.
Yeah.
$15 Sonic R on the Nintendo Switch.
Have it with net play, have it with online
Steam.
play, make it good. Like, hell yeah. You kidding?
We do have the Roblox one, the online Roblox one. It doesn't control the exact same, but
you can't play
pretty
Roblox
close.
on Switch though, can you? Because some games
No,
I'm
you
just
can't.
like, I want that on Switch specifically.
Yeah, I want it on, console. I don't know how it would feel with the Saturn Circle Pad because I do have that. That's my main Saturn controller. So I don't know if that would like change the
True.
experience at all. But like,
for a long time.
So yeah, I guess you could say
We'll see.
if we were to consider kind of Sonic R Saturn and Sonic R 2004 edition as their own separate things, you could say Sonic R Saturn. Yeah, they didn't have it down, but it didn't take much to turn it into a really cool game for years.
Yeah.
ahead.
And it's impressive too. Like that game is a really impressive project for the Saturn. Like it is a marvel. And if you haven't seen those videos by Game Hut, go check out videos about Sonic 3D Blast and Sonic R on that other channel.
Yeah.
It's like really informative.
The only thing that does suck is just the pop in, but like in all honesty, it's not really too dissimilar from Frontiers. If I'm being
The thing is, it's really not. Like it's really, really not. The thing is though, when I look at stills of the Saturn version, because it's mostly those painted backgrounds or HDRIs or whatever they are, it makes the game look visually incredible in freeze frames. Like, when nothing's popped in, so you've just got the artwork, it makes these racetracks look colossal. And it's like, wow. But again, you realize that is because of a technical shortcoming. But I think Sonic R is a testament in how to overcome technical shortcomings and make something good out of it. Like, you've got to appreciate the technical marvel that is Sonic's model in Sonic R. You look at Sonic's design in, like, the old, artwork, the originals and stuff like that, and you think, how can we get this fucker into as few polygons as possible? And Sonic R is so crunchy to look at, but it looks amazing.
Yeah. Also, I guess resolution, what TV you played on too, also probably has like a factor in terms of its aesthetic and everything.
True, and I have seen that the Saturn models are a little bit weirder looking than the PC ones. So admittedly, like, again, PC has improved it. But even then, it was impressive that they were able to get these designs into such low poly models and get them to translate as well as they did. Knuckles looks a bit cursed, won't lie. But like everyone else looks very impressive.
Yeah. So, do we want to move on to the next Sonic racing game?
Yeah, I guess we've gushed about Sonic R for long enough. It's been like, 6 minutes since we started?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one on the bunch is another one that I've very recently gotten some experience with. And am I correct in this? Would Sonic Riders be the next racing Sonic game?
Unless you count...
like, if we're going off
Java
of the same...
games, I assume. Like, phone games.
Yeah, let's not count those, because that is 2 in the weeds for me. Unless, Trey?
If we go off of the same philosophy that we did with the Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, Sonic Adventure, the Sonic Adventure 2 had multiplayer and racing.
Yeah. And I mean, Tails' story in Sonic Adventure is very racing.
Is a racing,
Yeah.
That's
a good point.
Yeah.
Sorry, I heard something else. Yeah, it's very racist. That story.
No, my God.
Tails? What the hell?
Tails? Oh, no, not Tails.
Look, he's gone down a dark path, man. It's a really sad thing to see a boy like that caught up in the alt-right, but it is what it is.
He's young. Hopefully he'll grow out of it.
But will the internet forgive him? That's the question. That's the fucking question.
So Sonic Adventure, to my recollection, has no multiplayer. But the only racing thing is just the Tails story with Sonic. And Eggman, technically, because he does race Eggman at the end of his story. And honestly, like, I feel like with Tails, it was a sign of things to come with Adventure 2, with their multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, because that did have a dedicated race mode. Like, you had the battle mode, you had the race mode, and you had something else.
Oh, that was
like...
so good, dude.
Yeah, it's a fun multiplayer.
Adventure 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, Adventure 2 multiplayer is amazing.
Is that possible?
No.
Not
playing online? I don't know.
You got to use Parsec or you can't play it online.
But you can do it with Parsec, right?
Yeah.
We should totally do this at some point.
I don't even know what that sound was, but that was awesome. Yeah, with Adventure 1 with Tails, I didn't even think about the racing aspect of it because like you got so far ahead so quick, like it just didn't matter. Like it like the whole racing mechanic aspect of Tails' thing just didn't register with me just because ever since I was a kid, I was just like, oh yeah, I can fly through these rings and everything. Oh yeah, I'm already halfway done with the stage.
Pathetic, yeah.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, I think that's like it's a good point to land on, but I don't think it is that important, I guess, to the racing side of things. But Adventure 2, now that's a racing game, especially with the multiplayer and the cars. They had a car mode too.
You've got the car mode in there as well, which is kind of the first instance of a Sonic kart racer. No, it's not. Sonic Drift 1 and 2 exist, you fucking idiot. Good point.
Yeah. I guess
the beginning of the
3D
end.
one though. Yeah. I think it's yeah. I think Adventure 2 is so novel in a lot of ways. It's so cool in a lot of ways. I love the multiplayer. It has a soft spot in my heart. Adventure 2 Battle in particular.
Yeah.
Has some of the best multiplayer experiences I've ever experienced, basically,
Honestly,
in my life.
It sort of feels like an evolution of those older, like classic Sonic racing modes because they put you in familiar levels and they give you like a few power up things.
Yeah.
And they go, all right, get to the goal.
Let's just quickly
literally just give us that for any new Sonic game, and I feel like everyone would like it. You know, like just let us have a little 2-player mode.
Let's quickly raw dog the topic of like other Sonic racing games that are not devoted racing games. So like mainline Sonic titles that have racing modes.
Like Heroes.
Heroes, yeah, that has quite a robust racing mode, to be fair. Like, as much as I hate the way that game controls, and I really never want to play it again. Like
I tried playing it recently.
It's horrible.
It doesn't control great. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But like, yeah, as much as I shit on that game, justifiably so, its multiplayer mode is one of the more robust ones. So that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, there was also Shadow didn't have.
It wasn't a racing mode, I don't think.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was like an arena shooter, basically.
It was like arena shooter type stuff, which is
so it is
very funny. But
ineligible.
Sonic 06 had racing. 06 had racing.
It was good, actually, too. It was like the most fun mode of the game, I think.
That's true.
I remember not having a good time with it because the screen was vertically split, though, rather than horizontally.
Well, I mean, that was the same way with Adventure 2 as well. Adventure 2 was vertical. Like,
I don't know. I remember playing it multiplayer with my dad one time, and neither of us had a good time, but I think that's also a product of, like...
Also, if you pick Silver and the other person picks, like, Sonic or Shadow, then you lose.
Yeah.
Because you just hold the other person
you
to
just
start
lose.
and they can't do anything.
Yeah, like, Sonic 06's multiplayer mode is... It's a multiplayer mode for Sonic 06. Like, I don't know what else to really say.
It's a very tacked-on thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's...
Sonic, did Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic and the Secret Rings have multiplayer modes dedicated to
Sonic
racing?
and the Secret Rings had like a party mode, like a Mario Party mode.
It's not racing. Black Knight didn't have racing either.
Okay, so neither of those count. You do have, of course, Sonic Colors is I don't even know if this counts as racing though, but like Sonic Colors is a Sonic Simulator thing, which I don't think is.
Oh yeah.
You forget that in Sonic Colors Ultimate we do have racing.
Yeah, with Metal Sonic. Yeah.
That is true too.
As silly as it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is like going down the list of Sonic games and going, yep, that one has racing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's also a thing where it's like a lot of these, especially multiplayer modes, they kind of just blend together because they kind of all do the same thing, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, it's a Sonic game and you race to the end. No, okay. Like, that's pretty much it.
Well, one unexpected place you'll find some racing. Yeah, there's some racing in this one too. Is Sonic Frontiers, but purely because of Final Horizon, because you got the little Ghost Tales races in cyberspace.
Oh yeah.
So that one has a little racing too.
That's right. Yeah. I know it's funny because technically every Sonic game is a racing game because it's all time trial mode.
There's Sonic 4, Episode 2.
Yeah.
You got a little racing as well.
Also, and I don't know if this counts entirely, but the I don't know if it counts entirely, but 30-second trials in Sonic Generations OG.
I mean, it's kind of you're racing against something. I mean, the doppelganger races. Fuck me, the doppelganger races.
Yeah, that's true too. For me
Generation.
and my cousin, way back in the day, and I hate that they didn't bring this mode back for Shadow Gens. I feel like 30-second trials would still pop off. But like, me and my cousin went back and forth of who could get the furthest in the stage in under 30 seconds. And
that's fun.
yeah, and eventually, like, love you, Brian, but I ended up beating him on all the stages. So I was like, yes, I am victorious. I'm the better
Indeed.
Sonic fan. Yeah, it's so funny.
It's also Sonic Forces on mobile. It's a little bit of a racing
true,
game.
Oh yeah, the mobile games.
And
Yeah.
Sonic. Oh no, I was gonna say Brenner's, but that's not a racing game.
Sonic Boom
Idiots.
3DS, Sonic Boom Fire and Ice had the robot racing mode.
True.
I didn't even
That
know
was
about
fun.
that. but
Actually, I
there
like
you go.
that.
Sonic Boom Fire and Ice fucks. Like, it really
It's fun.
fucks hard.
I need to actually give it a shot because I just haven't given it a shot yet.
I was pleasantly surprised.
I would like to
It's
give
like
it a
it's
shot.
funny that and R. I was actually gonna mention that earlier. Like, I played a lot of Sonic games for the first time when I was making videos, like review things, and Sonic R and Sonic Boom Fire and Ice were both surprising to me. That I was like, wow, good ass game. It's some good games here. Wow.
Yeah, Sonic Boom Fire and Ice fucks hard. I also do like Shattered Crystal. I know it's got a kind of a slow-paced progression to it, which isn't very good, and Fire and Ice definitely fixes that, but I still think the content of what's there is pretty good.
Yeah. So, have we gone through
You race
just the mainline
Styx.
stuff in terms of racing semantics and whatnot?
You race Styx, Metal Sonic, and Shadow in Shattered Crystal, according to KB, and that is absolutely true. It's got
Yeah.
a little racing in it as
It's
well.
Sonic Rush games also had
Oh
racing,
yeah,
right?
I mean those do
Like
have
with-
multiplayer racing, as do all the GBA games.
Superstars
that's
also
true.
has a little bit of a racing.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
it's got...
Do you actually? I'm with you. What is the point of just mentioning these? Like, are we just saying like, yeah, they have racing in these games? This is
Sonic Rumble got a little racing.
Yeah. Sonic Rumble isn't even out. Like, I don't even know like what they're doing with that game. I'm getting like pissed because I was very excited for it, and now they are just like,
Everyone's
yeah, who's
forgotten
ready for
it
the new
exists.
season? I'm like, it's not even out yet. Why are you talking about seasons?
I think, yeah, they
Like,
do
release your damn
promote it
game.
like it's actually out, and I don't know what's taking so long now. So
I don't know.
I got no idea what the plan there is. I use my VPN account. I am Dutch Pup, and like I'm having
Dutch
a great
Pup.
time with it. And
That's
they
good.
have
I'm glad.
Who cares?
they have some devoted racing bits there. So Sonic Rumble,
Yeah.
got a little
It's also
racing.
cool. I think it's a very
Makes
fun
sense.
take on Sonic racing. I just wish there was a spin dash button.
Yeah, I mean, every time they do that slide down the hill, I'm like, this would be cooler if it was rolling.
Just spin. Just roll.
They have sped the characters up recently again. I know that like when it first dropped, the characters were super slow, and they sped them up a little bit, and they've sped them up again. Either that or I leveled up. I don't know, but like I did notice, like, ooh, the acceleration's
Probably
a bit faster.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why it's taking so long to just release the thing globally now. It's like you had a lot of good press at one period, and it's like that would have been a good time to do it, and now it's just like I think a lot of folks are just giving up on it now. Like,
You know what? But we have also, as a fan base, asked Sega and like them all to be like, "Hey, please don't fucking release these Sonic games when they're not ready."
but it is
So, like-
ready. I've played it.
But it is ready.
It's great.
They've been like acting like it's been
it
ready
could
for
still
months.
Be being like bug fixed and tested for certain things. They
Yeah,
could be
but
being
it's,
really
it's
careful.
like I've played a lot of Sonic Rumble. I fucking live and breathe
I
Sonic
know,
Rumble.
but you just didn't see the bugs, idiot. Duh.
No, hey, dumb idiot, man. I would at least spot
Fuck,
some.
idiot.
I'm not completely dead, all right? Like, I've played the thing extensively and found generally that this thing is a very solid game that I would love to play
Yeah.
on Steam.
Yeah, you got 3 minutes in it or something. Crazy.
No, I haven't got fucking look at my account. Look how many hours I've got on this thing.
Oh,
I'm-
he's got 4 minutes. I'm sorry.
I am the Sonic Rumbly Tumbly champion of time.
No. Dave Ace
So-
is the one who's been keeping Sonic Rumble alive.
Dave has been. Dave has definitely been
He
doing
streams
that.
the
But
game
I've-
like every day.
yeah, but I recently just added Dave as friend on Sonic Rumble, so it's like that's
Oh.
activity.
I guess going back now, since we've kind of touched on the mainline Sonic games and their multiplayer modes, like briefly, again, like after Adventure 2, they all kind of blend together because they're all kind of derivative from Adventure 2. I don't know why they wouldn't be, in my opinion. Sonic Riders, I think that is the next like designated racing game.
Yes. So things have gotten a bit more interesting this week, but I'll let everyone else talk first, I think.
I mean, okay. Like the thing is that people talk about like, oh, like I don't like how Sonic Riders controls. It's like, no, it's not. The thing is that it has weight to it, and you do have to. It's almost like the Sonic R thing, except it makes even more sense in my opinion than Sonic R because you are on like a hoverboard. Like you gotta drift, you gotta use the air to your advantage, and you gotta trick and all that good jazz. I think the gameplay loop of Sonic Riders it's pretty damn good, and I wish, and I've said this last week, but I wish Sega Sonic Team or whoever was making these games would have kept with this formula because I feel like they could have like truly perfected it like in due time, and it would have been like the best Sonic racing game. But yeah, no, the original Riders, it's also a vibe still too. Like it's just amazing. Soundtrack's amazing. The aesthetics are amazing. Like I know some people are put off by the lanky models, but I like the lanky models in my opinion. It makes things more telegraphed.
Like
yeah,
it's a really nice art style.
Well, especially like I noticed this with Crossworlds. Whenever you see characters on like the extreme gear, they look kind of stumpy, if that makes sense. They look a little like squished, and it's because like the tricks that they're doing aren't really that well telegraphed compared to like Riders, in my opinion. But regardless of that, Riders is still, it's a fantastic game. I do love it.
So I've got some fresh new thoughts, haven't I, Dylan? Because you were there for this.
Yeah.
He was in the call. I experienced Sonic Riders for the very first time. I think yesterday, was it? Or was it the day before? Day before yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of thoughts on this because one of the first things I did was went to the extras menu to find that tutorial because I have heard the game doesn't teach you anything. And absolutely true. And not only that, the tutorial bombards you with a lot of information that it's like I'm going to forget as soon as we get into a match. Like, as someone who kind of finds it easy to learn in a hands-on way, it was not helpful or accessible. And I would say the gameplay is less accessible than your average kart racer. However, I don't think the gameplay is too much at all. Like, I've seen a lot of the reviews that say, oh, it's so convoluted and stuff. It's not. It's not convoluted. No. Like, the air system, it's about balance. That's what you do on a board. You balance. You balance your air with your speed and your timing and stuff. And I think that's really cool. I think the overall controls of it feel nice and snappy. I think, like, everything does what you want it to do. And it feels really good to pull off different tricks. I don't understand why you have to double press the A button in order to get on a rail, but, like, that's just me. Once I got used to that, it was better. But, like, yeah, there's a really cool learning curve to Sonic Riders, but there's something that holds me back from calling it a good game. And, because it's one of those things where I think mechanically, yeah, the mechanics are down. It's just the game they've built on top of it. For one, I'm aware that there's not much content, but secondly, there's not a difficulty curve. There's a difficulty spike when you get to the sand arena place, which was a really cool racetrack. But then you get to fucking Babylon Garden. I actually know more than one person who eventually just threw in the towel and decided, you know what, I don't need to get past this level. Because I don't... Yeah, one of them is you, one of them is Dom. I know a good few... And myself as well. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to give up here. And the thing with Babylon Garden is you could be doing quite well at it, but there's that one turn. There's one really tight fucking turn with no, like, safety barrier on it. And regardless of whether or not I drifted or whether I just went straight for it, I would fucking slip off the edge every time. And when I try and work it out, I might get caught in someone's turbulence stream or something like that. There's one piece of the level that is not designed for that control scheme. And I think it's really bad that that's there. The rest of the level is incredible. But that there has made me not want to play the rest of it, because I'm dying at the same part. I'm not really getting any better at it. I'm not figuring out how to do it, because even when I think I might figure out how to do it, someone's fucking turbulence stream gets me. It's a level that is just not balanced correctly, and I think Sonic Team's difficulty balancing issues have been an ongoing fucking thing. It's either too hard or it's too easy. And I think, Sonic Riders is not a very accessible racing game. Like, once you get past the first couple of levels, there is a challenge to it. I managed to pick it up, and I managed to get into the controls really quickly as well, so I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, he did.
It's just...
No, I don't bullshit on that. Like, when he started the game, I was like, if the controls do not click with him, he is not making it past, like, the second level. Like, we're going to be here for hours. But, like, you went in, I think you failed the first race. Like, actually, I don't think you did.
No, it was
I think
the
you made
third
it through
race.
the first race fine. Yeah, you didn't even lose a race till, like, the third time or something.
Also, the Knuckles versus Storm thing with the greatest comeback in history, because I got knocked back to the point of going in the wrong direction, and then in the final lap, I managed to win.
Let's go.
But that felt really good, and mastering the Sand Palace level felt really good. But once I got to that one turn, I was like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here for. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll die tomorrow. Maybe I'll die in a year's time. But do I really want to spend the time I have doing this?
Very dramatic.
And then I'm like, okay, chat. You got to do the Babylon Rogues one, right? Is that any easier? And they're like, oh, it's harder. I'm like, all right, you know, I don't care. I don't need this. I don't want to get good at this.
Instantly. You were like, nope.
Yeah, that was the point where I was like, yeah, no, we're not coming back to this. We might, actually, because part of me is, like, studying it. Part of me is, like, looking at gameplay videos and trying to study what it is I need to do there. And, like, I'm at that point where it was, like, the only up challenge in Fortnite where I'm like, I need to come back to this, even though it was a fucking waste of time. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll do that. But, yeah, Sonic Riders, incredible mechanics. For the most part, the game is good, but for the little content that's there, quite a chunk of it is kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, like it's the same thing with like the Sonic Adventure, you know, DX port, where like they padded out a lot of the game through like missions and stuff like that. There's like a whole mission mode with Sonic Riders that you can do, and I think if you get all gold medals on the missions, you do get like Super Sonic, which I think is kind of cool.
There's also little Sega characters like Monkey Ball and stuff that get their own devoted tracks, Nights into Dreams as well.
Yep.
And, like, like, there's a lot to love about it, clearly. And I think for the little content that's there, it is something that is designed to be, like, played and replayed. Like, trial and error is going to be a big part of the game time. But there comes a point where I'm like, this is too big of a slice of the pie. You know, too much of the pie is rotten.
Yeah, well, that's why I said, like, I feel like with Riders and the mechanics, like... well, for one, I wish they would have explained things better, because even the tutorial's not that great.
Yeah, like, they needed a proper interactive tutorial for it.
Yeah, which the first stage kind of does, but it doesn't really punish you properly for, like, going the lower path or, like, not getting everything 110% correct and all this other stuff, which is fine, but, again, it doesn't give you an incentive of, like, trying to get better. It's not until you hit, like, the second or third stage where, like, you know, the difficulty kind of hits you smack square in the face to where it's like, okay, now you need to know what you're doing and shit. But that's why I kept saying, like, if they would have kept going in this direction and, like, tweaking and perfecting the gameplay of Sonic Riders, I feel like the Sonic Riders formula would have been, like,
I mean, yeah,
the best, you know.
That's all they
like,
need
the
to
best
do is really just build another game, a better game on top of that gameplay style, and they're laughing. Like, I really admire the fact that they went for something a bit different to the ordinary when it came to Sonic's big racing outing. Like, rather than carts, we'll put them on boards that have a unique system to them. Like, they really kind of reinvented the wheel with this, and they did something really special here. I think the models look fantastic. I love the animations. I haven't really got through all the story, so I can't really comment much on that, but I noticed there's, like, this almost kind of, like, mechanical dystopian aesthetic to this world and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it has a really unique vibe to it. It's also funny because this kind of did start its life as... It's not necessarily connected, but this wasn't their first attempt at making a Sonic board racing game. That was actually Sonic Extreme, which was supposed to come out around a similar time and was proposed as a Sonic skateboarding game.
Yeah,
which is funny because it makes it the second Sonic Extreme to get cancelled. What were they thinking naming it Sonic Extreme? That name is cursed.
I remember talking about it last week where it was supposed to come out around the same time. And I think they changed it from skateboarding to the extreme gear as it was getting closer to the Sonic Riders. They kind of wanted to make like a pseudo
wasn't it
interpretation.
Wasn't it more that Sonic Extreme was just a pitch and there was a demo made for the pitch, but they didn't go with that? And Riders was kind of a... I thought Sonic Extreme was more for like the PlayStation 2 and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about something different than I'm thinking about. Hold
Sonic
on.
Extreme, the skateboarding game. Spelled
that
with
was
an E,
for
I believe.
The GBA or something, right?
Let me look at it. Let me look into this.
So there's a game. Yeah. So there was a Sonic Extreme game for the GBA where the R was like accentuated or whatever, as they do. But there also was a Sonic Extreme prototype for the PlayStation 2, I think.
Okay.
Which was skateboarding. Very weird history. I think they wanted Sonic to be on like, they wanted to tap into like the Tony Hawk, like pro skater type of like audience and stuff like that.
Like a multiplayer kind of mission statement of what it's trying to do. But I think just the overall difficulty curve of it is just, or lack thereof, is very off-putting.
Yeah.
But a sequel could surely make everything better. Again, all you got to do is take that base gameplay style and then just make better designed levels around it with a better sense of difficulty. So, guys, I haven't played Sonic Riders 2.
Yeah.
Tell me, please.
Silly. They were telling you in your chat that, like, they removed the air system and shit like that. Like, I haven't played it either, but, like, if they remove the air system, like, I feel like that's the opposite of innovation. Like, they took out something that was unique and, like, replaced it with... Well, I hear that the drifting is, like, the main mechanic now. It's, like, a zero-gravity drifting type thing.
Yeah, so I've done a bit of research on this, and apparently the air system's gone in favor of making it a bit easier. Everything's that bit more automated now, and I've heard from a buddy of mine that, it is piss easy. So I kind of said, Sonic Team, when it comes to difficulty balancing, remember we had, like, games that were a bit too easy, like Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Colors and stuff. Then they released, like, Final Horizon and Sonic Superstars off the back, and it's like... This is this is too far in the other direction. And it's like this with Riders. It's like you got the first game, which is too hard in parts, and then you've got the second game, which is way too fucking easy. It's like you had an opportunity to get this right the first time, and you didn't. And now you mean to tell me it's on the second time, and you're still getting it wrong?
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we also talked about the Rivals games as well, which are racing games.
I was thinking
it was very brief. We covered that, I think. I actually
we covered that last week, and I think it's the same deal with like the multiplayer modes and the shit with like the main platforming games.
I was thinking we kind of categorize these, so do all the Riders games together and then do the Rivals games.
Okay,
that's fine. Yeah.
So Trey, have you played Sonic Riders Zero Gravity?
I actually haven't. I've never touched that game. Yeah,
Considering you like the original.
Despite my love for the first Riders game, I don't know why. I just never got the second one. I don't know if it was just a thing where it kind of released at a weird time for me, because like I was going into what is it?
You were sated. You had the first one. You're like, that's great. I'm good.
Yeah, I was satiated. I was like, the first one is perfect. I don't need any other sequels. But also, it was around that time too. Like, when did Zero Gravity come out? Like 2008, 2009, something like that.
2008, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2008. Yeah, you're right. So, 2008, I was in middle school at the time, and honestly, I didn't really play much video games up until like after high school. So there was like a weird point in time in my life where I just didn't engage with many things like video game related, much less Sonic related, up until maybe I was like a junior or sophomore in high school. So I think it was just a thing where I just didn't care for it. Like my interests were just in other things. I was also like playing guitar a lot more at that point. So I guess my hyperfixation was just on music. But yeah, I have no experience with Zero Gravity, and I still don't own it. I do want to own it. I don't know which version I would want to get because there's a Wii version and a GameCube version, but yeah.
You know, I mean, if you go Wii, it might have motion controls. It probably does.
That's true.
We mentioned
Right,
also
so, like-
that Sonic Riders Zero Gravity came out in 2008, which was obviously the same year as Sonic Unleashed. But
That is true too.
Sonic Riders 1 came out in 2006. So between Sonic Riders 1, Sonic Genesis GBA, and Sonic 2006, that was your 15th anniversary. And I guess a lot of people would consider Sonic Riders to be the best part of the 15th anniversary in that case. As far as I see it, with Sonic 06 and Sonic Riders, two different corpses, different murderer. But I still, like both of those games. I do like Sonic 06 more. Sorry, go ahead, shoot me. But again, it's partly down to liking the genre of game it is a bit more. I appreciate how dynamic Riders is. Like, if you could smush the
It's an
two together,
amazing
you'd probably
try.
have something cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing shot. Like for like, they had made racing games before, and for trying out a completely new concept, like there's a lot they get right with Riders, I would say, and it's definitely evident when you play things like Riders Tournament Edition and Riders DX, the gameplay modifications.
But
they fixed a lot of those little issues. There's a lot of good quality of life. I think it turns into like a really incredible time.
But I do think, as a Fortune 500 company, Sega should be able to get the difficulty right. Like, I don't often see that many gaming studios getting difficulty wrong.
Yeah. Well, and also I wanted to say I've completely forgot about this, mainly because it is kind of forgettable. But regardless, it came out around the same time as like Secret Rings. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity did. Like I think Sonic Secret Rings was like 2007. And that came out in 2008.
Yeah.
And I think it was a choice for me between Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic Zero Gravity. And I thought like Secret Rings was going to be more of like a traditional platformer thing, so I did choose that. But I ended up having fun with Secret Rings regardless.
I was about to say, how'd you feel about your choice there?
I felt okay. Like there was one entire summer where I played nothing but that, and I got very good at it, and I beat it all. Like and it was fun. The multiplayer was probably the best part of that game. But
Sonic and the Secret Rings,
it wasn't
to
until
me is like the opposite issue to Sonic Riders. It's like the game that's built on top of the gameplay is really good, but the gameplay fucking stinks, is my issue with Sonic and the Secret Rings. Well, with Riders, it's like the gameplay's fantastic, but the game that's built on top of it in a lot of areas fucking stinks. And then you got Sonic Heroes, which just fucking stinks.
Yeah. Well, like, so I don't have much to say about Zero Gravity. I love the music of it. I think the main theme is super catchy and super fun.
Dude, Ungravitify's awesome.
It's so good. I like the original version more than the Crush 40 version.
I agree.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry Dylan isn't here to either agree or defend his points or whatever, but yeah.
Where'd Dylan go?
I don't know. But
another one.
That's all I gotta say about Zero Gravity. I'm sorry if people were expecting more from the Zero Gravity discussion. And if you do love that game, then please tell us why you do, because I'm very curious. I've only heard mixed things about it.
There's a strong chance I may come away preferring Zero Gravity, but I'm dubious because I really like the airboards. So it kind of feels just like on the base of getting rid of that, I'm immediately kind of on a bad footing with it.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, while we're doing Riders games, it behooves us to talk a little bit about Sonic Free Riders, and how again it's another opposite issue to kind of. Well, no, it's not. It's the same issue as Secret Rings, where it's like the game built around the gameplay style is actually fine. Like, it's why people have played like the Zero Kinect mod of it and said it's fine. But the game as you experience it, the thing it's based around, the Kinect, Sega just hadn't gotten the Kinect down yet at that point. Or maybe Sonic Team hadn't anyway. Because I know I played a Sega game called Rise of Nightmares, which was incredibly innovative in how it was like not an on-rails game by any stretch, but it was perfectly controllable. And I thought that was really cool. But like, yes, Sonic Team hadn't gotten the Kinect down at the time of making Sonic Free Riders. And I actually had a Connect. I never got Sonic Free Riders. I just played the demo of it. But like, I had a Connect, and I had no problems with Rise of Nightmares or Kinect Adventures. Both great games. But when I tried to play the Sonic Free Riders, it didn't feel like I was in control of it. It felt like maybe my camera was looking at me through fog or something. Like, it didn't feel responsive. And that's the big issue with that game. I've also heard that the multiplayer mode can be kind of intimate. I think I heard that from Some Call Me Johnny. In that, like, the multiplayer mode occasionally requires you to, like, hold hands with the other player. And it's like, oh, dude, I'm not going to hold hands with the homies.
Yeah, I have no experience with Free Riders either. And that's another funny case because, like, I did have a Kinect at the time that game came. Like, my family bought a Kinect because we were playing, like, Kinect Adventures and Dance Central and stuff like that. So
Kinect
I could have
Adventures
very
is an
easily...
awesome game.
Oh, yeah. Like, Dance Central and Dance Central 2 are actually really good, like, games. Like, it's kind of funny. Yeah, no. But, like, but we were having fun with it. I could have asked for it, but again, I think it's just one of those things where I just wasn't keeping up with it at that point. Like, I just didn't really care. Oh, I know what it was. It's because this is post Colors. This is post Sonic Colors, and I did not like Sonic Colors, so I decided just to completely disengage from the just the series. I think, like, as a whole, I want to say.
Damn, I really want to chat about Sonic Colors now, like, because I feel like that is quite a hot take.
Like a hot take for me to say?
No, just for anyone to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, I explained this on my panel with Nick and them at, like, MagFest, but it was a thing where I didn't think Sonic Colors was a bad game, but it was the first indication that maybe Sonic just wasn't for me anymore, if that makes sense.
Fair, yeah.
Because a lot of people were, like, giving it 9s and 9.5s out of 10s and stuff like this, and I'm just playing the game and I'm just like, I'm not having fun. I don't know what other people see in this.
I think Wayne's
so
like first experience with Sonic Colors was when Ultimate came out, and he was like, "Well, this just doesn't do anything for me." I think it was just kind of like, it's the most middle of the road thing.
Yeah, for me, it was a mix of things where I was like, okay, wasn't a fan of the new voices, but regardless, I can get past that. Okay, some of the early stages are kind of boring, but it's okay. Maybe it picks up near the end, and it just never really picks up for me. There's not really much in terms of, like, set pieces or memorable moments in Colors. The most memorable moment, and it's because it's been referenced so many times, is the Planet Wisp opening with the grass. Like, it looked gorgeous, especially for a Wii game, and I love the music for that stage, but it just felt so sterile for me. Like, whenever I play Sonic games, I get into, like, a flow state, and you cannot do that with Colors, in my opinion. There's really no fun way to play it without breaking it.
I mean, I think it's a game that lives and dies depending on how interested you are in the Wisps. Like, if you engage with the Wisps and the exploration that is afforded, you can find some fairly robust level design. And the game is pretty sure-footed in what it wants to do and be. Like, that is something I could definitely hand to Sonic Colors that is difficult to hand to a lot of modern Sonic games, is that the game is sure of itself, and it's a very high-quality thing for what it is. Like, it's a technical marvel, I guess, in a way.
Someone in chat asked me, it's like, question to Trey, did you hate on Colors before it became cool to hate on it? And for that, I'm like, the thing is, I never hated it, even whenever it became cool to hate it, but I did not like it when it first came out. It was a thing where I was more so confused as to why other people were giving it such high praise. And I get it, and I get the whole, like, oh, it's because, like, it was just Sonic and they took out the melodrama and stuff like that. But for me, it's like, okay, but you got to make a good game first, you know, like, to make those points even matter to me. And I'm not saying that Colors is a bad game, but it, like, I never go back to it. I never replay it. I played it through, I think, like, one time whenever I was a kid. And then whenever Generations came out, it just collected dust on my shelf. And I only recently replayed it when I got funny enough, the Switch port of Colors Ultimate.
I think the thing is, Colors really holds itself back with its insistence on, like, 2D and block levels, because, like, the Act 1s, where it's mostly 3D, are really fun. Like, that kind of does show off, you know, all the great things about that gameplay style. But then you'll get, like, a lot of levels that are like, hey, stand on this switch and watch this laser slowly turn. You'll get those bounce pad things where you have to only go as fast as the bounce pad.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of gimmick levels
yeah.
in there. And that's the thing is, I think Kitten Puke says in the chat here, a lot of outside the fandom will still see Colors as a reignition of the franchise because it doesn't do dumb gimmick shit. But Colors is one of the most gimmicky Sonic games in terms of its overall levels.
The wisps are so, like,
the wisps
they're
are
so
one
situational.
thing. And they're okay. I think the wisps are fine, but just the general level design, once you get past those first acts, is very gimmicky. And it doesn't play into what makes Sonic great. There's good level design there because of how much can be, like, explored by the wisps and stuff. Like, hunting for red rings really showcases the best of what Sonic Colors' level design has to offer, but it's not what you want from Sonic, you know? Like, the hunting's fun, like, but it's just not, that's not what it is.
And for me, the gimmick stuff, it does extend to the wisp, but also in the level design where, like, you have to, like, balance yourself on a bounce pad. I think you mentioned that before. And, like there's, like, auto-scrolling levels, too, where you only can go so far, you know, and all that stuff, which is the stupidest idea for any Sonic game, in my opinion, because why would you want an auto-scrolling level in a Sonic game? But regardless, it insists upon itself, you know, basically, you know, it insists upon itself. But the thing is, I've never played Colors DS, and I love the Rush games, but I never played Colors DS either. So it's like,
I don't consider Colors DS to be Rush 3, and the reason for it is entirely different overall aesthetic, entirely different musical style, doesn't have the trick system, Blaze isn't playable. It's like, while yes, it's a 2D boost game, I don't consider it Sonic Rush 3. But
that's fair. Like,
I do like it.
I guess, like, back to the like, again with Colors, to kind of put a bow on this point. I never considered it a bad game, but it was kind of like the beginning of the end for me whenever it was like whenever I was a Sonic fan at the time, because it was Sonic Colors. Sonic Generations was great, but it was very, like, the story just wasn't there, which is fine. It's a celebratory game. Then Lost World came out, and I was like, okay, I think
this is
done.
Never going to be the thing I want it to be.
It's never going to be better again. It's over.
It does.
It's never going to be the thing that I want. Yeah, basically. Forces, which I know sounds selfish, but I mean, it's just how
part of the reason
sometimes.
Forces stung as much as it did was it was being marketed as kind of a course correction from all that. When it was like, really just symptomatic. And I think a lot of, like, while Forces isn't the worst Sonic game ever made, a lot of the reason why it was so disheartening for people was because it was like the ultimate tell that they don't want to get better. They don't want to change. They don't want to set the direction back to what it was.
Or they just spent all that time and it came out like that still.
I think
I mean, I guess they didn't spend all that time technically. Like, from an outside perspective, it seemed like they spent, like, like a ton. It was like at least 3 or 4 years, right? Working on Forces, but it was just like the engine.
1 year of actual development, 3 years of conceptualization. But Sonic Forces didn't go right internally. The Hedgehog Engine 2 was being worked on for 3 of those years. But, like, Sonic Forces, it was just a very disheartening game.
And time.
I think it's also why Sonic Frontiers is as beloved as it is, and why people are so willing to look over its shortcomings, is because it ultimately did bring back what people call melodrama with Sonic. It brought back Sonic actually treating itself with some reverence. And that's another thing I'll say is, getting rid of the melodrama was not the biggest issue with a story like Sonic fucking... Can we go back? What was I saying?
I don't know.
We were talking about how Frontiers...
It doesn't have to be melodrama, because, like, yes, you can have a very dramatic story like Sonic Adventure 2, but with a story like Colors, the problem isn't just that it's kind of lighthearted and funny and stuff. The problem is that it doesn't treat Sonic with any reverence at all, because we've had a story like, say, Sonic Dream Team, which does take things quite back to basics. It's a very simple story, but it feels like it's still treating Sonic and the characters with a certain degree of reverence. They act like themselves. They don't feel the need to undercut everything with a bad joke. I think Sonic Dream Team has a really slept-on story, especially for how it balances all the characters that are in it. But it is effectively as simple as something like Colors. It's just they treat the characters well. And I think that's the bigger problem than anything else, is that they just weren't treating the characters with the due respect in the stories in that era. But I think we've got to probably get back to the point of Sonic racing games.
Yeah, we kind of got off on another tangent there, but
Dilnor has returned, and
but yeah,
I'm here.
He's the world's only person to play Sonic Rivals.
Yeah, and I haven't played the second one. I've only played the first one.
Also, Trey, sorry, did you want to say something real quick? Because it feels like you wanted to wrap something up.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that's the reason why I never experienced Sonic Free Riders, is because it was post Colors, and I didn't want to have more of Colors writing. Basically, it just didn't. It was yucky. That's it.
Sonic Free Riders brought Shadow in, and it's like those beautiful animations that you had in Sonic Riders 1 and 2, like how well those character models animated.
You can play Shadow in the first Riders game. He's just only in the multiplayer mode.
Yeah, but Shadow's in the story in Sonic Free Riders, and it's like the first outing of Kirk Thornton as Shadow, and the first outing of the newly characterized Shadow, who's like a friendless loner, who's a bit of a seedy bastard, you know? Like, that's kind of his character in Sonic Free Riders. It's a bit more villain-coded, as is Rouge. So, like, that is something that upset a lot of people from a writing standpoint, maybe even more than Colors did. But, yeah, even down to the fact that, like, they don't even have properly animated cutscenes in Sonic Free Riders. It's just fucking tragic. Even if, like, you fix the Kinect thing, it's just a smaller scale game than the previous ones, which felt like they had bigger budgets than they really even needed. This one felt very low budget comparatively.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree to that. Exactly. It's funny because I have such a clear picture of Sonic Free Riders in my brain, because I remember probably the first time I played it, if I had to guess. I probably only played it like once, to be honest, because I was like, this sucks. But I remember the opening cutscenes and stuff where, you know, the characters were showing up and talking and stuff, and I was like, this looks like a mobile app or something.
They gave up.
It's like a little shitty visual novel portraits, and it's like, you know, Team Sonic Racing did it. It was basically that, but I think Team Sonic Racing does it a lot better.
I tell you what, there is one thing Sonic Riders did that was good.
No,
there is one thing. We got to see Rouge in a sports bra in HD.
Yep, best Sonic Racing game. We got let's just back it up here.
Not consistent.
I mean, they did it better. They did it even better in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2020. I'm just saying, they knew what they were doing. Anyways, okay, so Garrulous64, how would you like to talk about Sonic Rivals?
Oh, yeah. So Sonic Rivals is it's kind of fucking goofy. Kind of a fucking goofy game.
You're fucking goofy.
I think they expected a lot more people to have PSPs than they actually existed. So my honest belief about Sonic Riders and why I think it's so lackluster is because I think if you played it with a friend, it'd probably be really fun. I think it'd probably be a great time. Otherwise, when you play the story mode or you play against any CPU players for any reason, you basically feel like you're going through a level, like a poorly designed Sonic level with like some extra gimmicks here and there.
Yeah.
With poor controls, with no momentum, and with horrible rubber banding AI. So that's why I think it might be fun with 2 human players, because, you know, like, there's no rubber banding, making it cheap.
The rubber banding was pretty obscene in Sonic Riders as well.
Ridiculous.
But
in Sonic Rivals.
Because I'm looking at gameplay right now. I'm looking at it on my screen, and it looks pretty good. Oh, wait, no, that's an advert for Fortnite. Hang on, let's see the actual gameplay. Okay, well, this looks just like a kind of a 2D Sonic R kind of thing, really.
It's fine. It's fine to play, but, like, overall, I would say it's really not worth going through the story mode, even though it's, like, technically canon stuff.
And did you say there's, like, no momentum? Like, how does that work?
It's really, like, you could roll on a hill and you really don't go anywhere. You can keep mashing the homing attack to try and build speed, but you always have, there is, like, a top speed that you can reach. If
Yeah,
you
it's,
run
like,
for a
capped.
second.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I
then
mean,
there's
to
a
be fair,
cap.
capping the speed is something they've done for every
That's
non-classic
it's
Sonic
fine
game lately, but
fine that they do that, but it's just not fun at
I
all.
think they
Like, it makes
shouldn't.
it feel really sluggish.
I want the next Frontiers game to take off the speed cap.
I think let people have the speed. If they can get it, then let them do it.
If they can afford it, and if they know how to moderate, let them have speed.
Okay, all right. That's not actual advice from Sunset City.
Channel Pup is a fictional character played by the man that plays Channel Pup. His opinions are not related to anything. They're not even real.
But like,
I want to try this. I'm looking at it, and it looks kind of head empty, but it looks alright. It looks like I could enjoy it.
Rivals 1 is better to play story mode than I would say Rivals 2 is, and I don't know anything about Rivals 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, the song for Rivals 2 sounds like the vocalist is holding back a sneeze. No offense to the vocalist, it's just it's that song.
I think it was Ted Pulley.
Yeah,
Ted Pulley who sang.
Go on.
I think he sang on like Sonic Adventure 2. I want to say.
He did, and that's what I was about to say. Is that like I love his work on Sonic Adventure 2. I just don't think Race to Win is a great song, and it is a song that causes him to sound like he's holding in a sneeze.
It's a very short song too, which doesn't help.
And it's one of the more toy commercially Sonic songs.
It's definitely like it's almost like the rock version of like the They Call Me Sonic type song. It's not exactly the same vibe, obviously.
No, but one of those like middle of the road Sonic tracks. that, like
but it's
some
very
people
much like
remember.
They were worried more about like making a song about Sonic rather than just making a good song first.
What
like,
was
that's
They
what
Call Me Sonic attached to? Like what product was They Call Me Sonic for?
I don't know.
I forgot. I thought it was just a commercial.
Song. I didn't know it was official.
I don't care for that song
it's
in the
official.
slightest.
It is official. I want to say it was just like like maybe like an advert for like a Saturn thing or something. Like I don't know. It was so weird.
Sounds like something you hear in a mall, like just like over the loudspeaker, and you can barely hear it.
You'd hear it in the 2000s at the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd hear it during like the era of Chris Chan getting like the pickle suit guy. That is like emblematic of that period. It's quite an era that. But yeah, so that's Sonic. So you say you haven't played Rivals 2 at all then?
No.
No,
I mean I have played it. I haven't finished it. Sorry, I've played it. I don't know if I.
So what's the difference?
I say I've never played it.
What's new?
From my experience, it's hard to say because I did not give it enough time to breathe. Like I was just so pissed. I was like, how is it worse? You know, I was like, I can't do this.
The other thing, looking at Sonic Rivals 1,
feels worse. I don't really know how to describe it. Like it controls worse. I feel like, and I think someone was saying that part of it is because every character now controls exactly the same.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in the first game there were some differences. So it just felt like just endless races. It's like the same shit over and over again, and I assume the level design is just not very good. I haven't played the entire game. I got like 2 or 3 levels in, and I was like, I can't do this.
I'd imagine it being
it's just mind-numbing.
Completely race-focused would probably be kind of the killer for this. Maybe the structure, because
it's actually, you know what, one thing for it, it's completely voice-acted story, which is really weird.
And looking at it, it does look like what a lot of people have kind of been asking for in a 2D Sonic game. Like lately, I think there's been more of a call for like some 2D modern Sonic games that kind of evoke more of kind of that period, like kind of the Rush era, the Advance era and stuff. This looks like something that could please that group, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like looking at this, I'm not seeing anything exciting here. It looks like it looks like the kind of thing that could have been fleshed out, maybe.
I'm
like,
honestly shocked they got a second game. I'm surprised there were 2 of those games.
It like, you know, sometimes you have those games where it's like, oh, this could have been a cool side mode, but they just made it the whole game. Like that's Rivals. Like Rivals feels like a side racing mode to a much bigger game that I feel like would have been cool. A 2.5D Sonic game on the PSP would have been awesome, like a designated platformer for it.
I would have been down for that.
But I think they just like made that side mode to the full game. By the way, if y'all want to know where They Call Me Sonic is from, it is from a CD release from 1996 that
was
had
it Dance Power.
Wait, what's it?
Was it Dance Power?
Was it no? It's actually just a CD called Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh.
Like They Call Me Sonic is a single release from the album Sonic the Hedgehog by CNR Music. It includes a video and an emulated version of Comic Zone for PC. That's interesting, actually.
The thing is, could you not,
Yeah.
That game's
to be fair,
brutal.
say that because of the little size of it, could you not also theoretically say that Sonic R Fuel was like a bit of a side mode to a greater thing? Like, could what
fair.
we're saying about Rivals
Like,
not necessarily be applied to
Very
R as
short
well?
game.
Yeah, no, like I feel like if I lived in a perfect world, the Sonic World aspect of Sonic Jam would have been fleshed out into a full game, and
Yeah.
Sonic R would have been the multiplayer aspect of that game.
Mm.
Yeah, no
Oh,
doubt.
that's pretty
Also,
cool.
I'm seeing Sonic Rivals came out for the 15th anniversary as well. So Sonic Rivals was there at the same time.
Was
as,
there with Sonic Genesis and
Sonic
06.
06. Yeah. Also, have you seen
Confused
the
shit out of
trailer?
the canon.
Have you seen the trailer for Sonic Rivals 2?
I've not
Don't
actually.
know.
You will find Dylan PowerPoint parties that look more high spec than this. I'll put it in the
Let me-
background. Just take a
Can't tell
look
if
at
this
this. No, just take a look at this. This is very graphic design is my passion. I'll put a link to it in the
Okay.
chat as well. There, so
Okay.
for anyone that wants to see it, I'm not going to stream it because it's just too much work to get that up. But like, look at this trailer.
Is
It's
it
a
the
fucking-
overview trailer?
Yeah, it's a fucking PowerPoint presentation. Like the
Hold
way
on.
the way it's like Sonic and Friends.png zoom up on screen,
It's animated better than my PowerPoint parties,
but barely, right? Like,
I suppose.
although at least
Honestly,
this,
you know what? They still did a good job because they're making the game look fun.
and at least this exists, unlike fucking PowerPoint Party has for the past 10 months.
I
Where
think
is it, Dylan?
It's very funny. It's very funny to look at this and how they're cutting the trailer because it's very evident to me from the stages I've played that they're cutting out the bits where new players will run into a wall or every obstacle imaginable because there's no way to know what's coming up the first time you're there.
Yeah.
Wow,
so
it
it's
came
like-
out the year after as well. They really
Either
had
that
to.
or they have someone who actually knows what the levels look like playing this fight. But yeah, that was kind of a
This is a funny
Silly.
trailer, I'm not gonna lie.
silly little trailer.
Yeah.
Now we did kind of cover. I feel like we actually did cover the.
You could have made that in like 10 minutes probably. I bet that trailer.
Oh, easy. I feel like we did actually cover the Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing series quite well last episode when we
Yeah,
talked
we
about like
did.
the first one and Transformed. So it's just something I
Yeah.
wanted to bring up about Team Sonic Racing in terms of presentation. I think it's a bit
Yeah.
underwhelming that they don't do more for the stories of these racing games. Like Sonic R could have had a story. It was at a time when you could have cutscenes and stuff. And I think,
Yeah.
a Sonic R with a story would be really fun. I really love that idea. Like, that would be something to maybe revisit for that game. But it's like, obviously Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing and Racing Transformed didn't really need stories because that wasn't the kind of game it was. But Team Sonic Racing was definitely going for more of a narrative kind of focus. And they've once again cheaped out on just having these PNGs come up and text. And it's very underwhelming, like, all things considered. Especially considering, like,
Yeah.
Crash Team Racing had fully animated cutscenes.
Yeah,
what's-
that's
Crash
true.
Team Racing. Okay, listen. Crash Team Racing is a budget game in a completely different kind of way. That game is a mess, but it does have a very nice presentation for like cutscenes and story, and it is still very funny. And I think it's fun sometimes, but other times it's completely brain dead. That game, it's like really, really easy.
Team Sonic Racing, though, like, I think the UI is kind of cute. I like the way the little messages pop up and you see the little emote of the character. That's cute. I think the writing is serviceable. I think this was post Pontac and Graph, but I'm not sure. But
No, I don't know if it was completely post, because
it wasn't
Ian Flynn wasn't
obviously,
on
but,
board
like,
yet. Yeah,
Team Sonic
Ian
Racing
Flynn wasn't-
writers. It does. Ken Pontac and Warren Graff were the writers, and it does add up because I did notice a little trend between like Forces and fucking Team Sonic Racing is that the final word of both games is yeah. All the characters put their hands in the air and go yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is becoming a tradition by that point, even though it was only 2 games on the bounce. But, I thought the writing in that game was okay, though. Definitely better than Forces. Definitely better than some of the others. it had those hallmarks such as like Big's dialogue would go on way too long. Like I love Big, but in that game I just want him to fuck off because he talks too damn much.
That was the era that like Big as a character got like a big resurgence because there was at least supposed to be the Big's Big Fishing Adventure 3 kind of like game and whatever that didn't come to light.
That thing that Sega found fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, was it Sega or was it Aaron? You know.
Well, I don't like personalizing criticism, but I suppose Aaron Weber did find that more funny.
Well, I'm not
than
criticizing.
I
find that like during that era of him being like the big guy on campus was like that was the era of like Big the Cat is the best fucking thing in the universe.
Yeah, but now we're at a point though where it's like he's been a character in some things, and he's had a genuinely nice response. Like I think people saw him in Shadow Generations and were very surprised by it, but we were all happy to see him. Even Shadow seems to like him. And then I think there was that dialogue in Sonic Frontiers Final Horizon where Sage reveals that Big is really just a source of comfort for Sonic. It's like, I love this new era we're in, where Big is not just some dumb idiot. Yeah. He's someone that all of the characters like.
Yeah, I like Big being the queso of the Sonic franchise, if you know who queso is.
What, the streamer?
You know?
Or the
the streamer. Like... Anytime I think of, because Queso's like a streamer, he's like a big dude and everything. But anytime I think of like Big the Cat, I'm like, okay, if Queso decided to like voice Big the Cat, I think that would actually be like peanut butter and jelly, you know, because like they're both goofy, lovable, you know, big dudes and whatnot.
And to its credit, Prime did show Big some love. It kind of went from Big being like Big being something they shied away from to Big being something they were happy to poke fun at. To now we're in a stage where it's like Big is a respected character now. We're like, we like Big.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree.
Dude, honestly, in Sonic Prime, I appreciate that Big was included because that led to one of my favorite gags in the entire thing. Where in the pirate world, where I think, I don't know if it's Dread or one of the pirates is like, fire at Sonic, you know, because he's like doing something they don't like now. And, you know, Catfish is, like, reluctant because he liked Sonic and he thought he was nice. So he's like, reaching forwards for the gun, like, slowly. And then Froggy jumps off his head and, like, mans the turret and starts blasting at Sonic. And I think that was the funniest thing in the entirety of Prime. Like, that had me cackling. Because, like...
That is funny. It's a funny idea.
Like, what happened? Like, Froggy is just fully on board with killing. Which I think is... like great personality trait for Froggy to have since he has nothing else ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Very frustrated man.
But yeah, with Team Sonic Racing, I don't know. Again, it's like I got that game when it came out because I had a lot of friends that were like this is the same time that like Crash Team Racing came out as well and stuff like that. So I was just buying up some kart racers just to play with friends. And yeah, it's just very unremarkable. That's just all I have to say. I think the game's very well put together. I think Sumo Digital doesn't really make a bad game when it comes to like Sonic racing games.
It's just you'll see little things like downgrades and stuff here and there.
Yeah.
I did like the team mechanics. I really did like those. And I thought they did add something worthy enough from the transforming feature. However, it's like, yeah, why can't we have both? Why don't we just build on top of it rather than build something else on that foundation?
Yeah, rather than just sidestep, yeah.
I still really do like Team Sonic Racing, but like, yeah, things like lack of online support definitely killed it. And it's one of those games that definitely needed some like microtransactions and DLCs, to be honest. Like, it kind of needed that.
You hate to see that, like, you agree when someone says something like that, because that game, literally, at
least
the
like
very
some cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, at the very least, it needed, like, at least an update to fix the stability of online play. Like, that was the killer.
Did the other games have car customization in them, though? Because I remember Team Sonic Racing turning all of the cars into Batmobiles.
I don't know. I don't think the other ones did.
Well, I like the customization. That was cool.
I think you could change, like, the type your car was in All-Stars Racing Transformed, but I don't think there was any, like, physical change you could make.
Okay, I put, Sonic in, like, a black and red pinstripe version of his car to make that look like a Batmobile, and then I would just have them all racing around in Batmobiles. It was awesome. So that's a feature I really dug. The Planet Wisp tracks were great. The soundtrack was fantastic as well. That soundtrack was one of those, like, because leading the soundtrack was June, but then you had, like, T-Lopes, and one of the Hyper Potion was definitely on board. And, like, yeah, you had a lot of the, like, Sega All-Stars in the current music department coming onto it, and it was that game that I'd point to and be like, maybe Sonic Superstars will be fine, because look at the soundtrack for Team Sonic Racing. That's T-Lopes and Jun Senoi fusion right there. But it's like, no, Sonic Superstars turned out to be Sonic Superstars, but Team Sonic Racing has a fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah, although I'm not a big fan of Greenlight Ride, which is what we kind of talked about last week.
Yeah, we quite extensively discussed why Greenlight Ride was like a very underwhelming return for Crush 40.
It's funny. I found a playlist on Spotify of Crush 40 Sonic songs because I was just wanting it for, gym stuff. And
I work out.
I put the playlist on shuffle, and the first song that came up was Greenlight Ride, and I immediately was like, no.
No. These are not the vibes.
It's just the week as well. Also, because Dylan goes to the gym very often.
I actually don't. I need to get back to it. I really haven't in a while.
He's such a muscle bro. There's something I want to throw up on screen. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this up on the stream.
It'll be a little bit lagged.
Are you guys looking though?
I am looking at the stream.
Oh, it's not playing. Hold on.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm like really far behind.
Jim Burrow Dylan.
Is this is it the big buff version of me that I made for the April Fool's video?
No, it's even better.
Why is it not? Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. Incredible.
That will literally be you.
I mean, that's actually not too bad. Like, that is pretty muscular. Look, that he probably put in a lot of work for that.
There you go.
Why is it that you... Dylan,
I respect that.
You're such a bastard. We've been over this on the stream the other day.
No, like...
No,
listen,
right, Trey. Dylan is literally eugenics.
Uh-huh.
So, let me elaborate.
A crazy statement.
I need to elaborate. So, he doesn't want to be compared to Steve Smith or Milhouse because they are pathetic, worthless beings. They're too weak to survive, effectively.
I'm not that.
They're too weak to survive. Dylan believes only the strong should be allowed to survive without mockery.
That's exactly. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Terry Chaos says that's Built House. No, that's fucking Mill Mansion, man. Like
Mill Mansion. Mill Penthouse.
Was there
That name is Millhouse anyway. Is there a real human with that name? You think?
What Mill?
Is there any other
Mill
it's like Brick House. Yeah. Is there any other like racing games that we need to go over, or was that pretty much it?
Well, Sonic Rumble got a little bit of racing in it.
Sonic Rumble isn't out; it doesn't count.
Yeah, I would say that we wouldn't.
Well, they got a little racing in that one. All right then.
Nope.
Well, so there will be.
I feel like we accomplished our goal. Yeah.
There will be more Sonic goodness later tonight on our channels, at least Dylan's, my own, and Dave, who sadly had to disappear due to a family thing. No big deal.
No, everything's fine. Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, he's all right. He just had something he had to attend to. So, shall we do Super Chats?
Let's do it.
Oh my god, are we going to have an under 4-hour episode? This is incredible.
No,
right.
That's crazy. Honestly, it works out because I have to be somewhere by like
I've got such important
like
things.
4:45 my time.
I have so
which
many
is in about
affairs
like
to
30
keep in
minutes.
order.
The super chat mailbag.
Where do you think you're going, Trey?
Where do I think I'm going?
Yeah,
What's that supposed to mean?
Where do you think you're fucking going?
He's in the super chat mailbag.
No, tonight when he has to leave.
Oh, I'm actually like teaching some piano stuff.
Oh, I have a party to go to with so many.
No, I don't have a party to.
I've been invited
How are you,
to
like,
party.
How gone are you, Pop? How baked are you right now? Because that's not at all what I said.
Better.
Yeah.
Weed is not legal in the UK, so therefore I have not smoked any of it.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not drunk. He's drunk.
I'm not drunk either. I don't really drink.
Just start rumors.
I'm just.
He's drunk in every episode, please.
No, I'm just very sleepy. Okay. I'm just taking down these super chats. You guys don't mind me.
Chat. How you doing, chat? Chat. How you doing, chat?
Oh,
Chat.
look at me. I'm Trey. I'm being invited to a party, so I have to go.
I don't know how to. He didn't say that. That's not what he said.
I know, but sometimes it's really fun to make new circumstances and then
It's
make
really
fun
fun
of
to
them.
just pretend, play pretend.
It's fun to pretend Trey did something stupid and then ridicule him for it.
Why?
Getting
Why is
invited to
that
a
fun?
party.
Because I'm a nasty
going to
little
a party?
bastard. Oh, I'm going to party. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna put a super chat cutoff.
Okay.
Just because, yeah, we all have places to be, and we probably want to get a bit of rest in before those beta streams, right, Vilno?
Yeah.
I mean, every stream's a beta stream when you're doing it, but
God, I knew that was coming. I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Honestly, you just live with it. Makes sense.
All right, well, Dilno, you want to go first?
Sure.
Borker.
Let's open the super chat mailbag. First one from Webster. £2. Sonic R is the best Sonic racing game. Fight me.
I
From
love
Webster,
it a
not
lot.
me. Do not fight me.
No, I mean, I love it
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, don't fight him. He'll lose. He's Millhouse. No, but I love Sonic R. Like, so maybe it might be one of my favorites at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much, Webster.
Thank you, Webster. Thank you.
Thank you, Webster.
Borker. It's me with Mr. Krabs, Mr. Krabs. $1.99. Thank you, Mr. Krabs. I love Marvel Rival, but here's the thing. It's gonna be the Thing from Marvel, isn't it? Like Fantastic Four thing. You're very funny, Mr. Krabs, aren't you? Well,
Hear the thing.
we've got another one, Borker from Mr. Krabs. Go on, Trino.
Should I say this in my Carl Weezer impression?
By
or
all
no? means,
yeah.
All right, Mr. Krabs, $1.99 US. Could have been worse, Carl Weezer. I mean, Dylan.
Wait, Dylan, I thought we said Trey was reading that one out. Why did you read that?
It's did Jimmy's mom.
What are you talking about, Dylan? What are you talking about? You're going on these crazy
my name's
ramblings.
Dylan,
Trey
and
is
I
supposed
like
to be
the
reading the
Nintendo
super chat.
64.
I know, Dylan.
Yeah.
I know.
Anyways,
Trey, you
it's
could totally
Dylan's
prank call
turn
people
now.
as Dylan.
Is it my turn now? That's
Yeah,
not
It is
me.
your turn.
Next up, the Great Rolls.
The great
$5 US
rolls with $5 US.
I'm not visiting anywhere where people can't spell color correctly.
Well, it's really funny you say that to the great rolls. For you see, the word color derives from couleur in French, which has a U in
No,
it.
it's fucking stupid. Shut up.
It's not stupid. What you guys are
Yeah.
the ones that changed it. And it's not called color, is it? It's called color.
Yeah, well, why is there a U in it?
Because we all got a little color at the end of the day. So we don't need to hate each other.
Okay.
Borker. So,
Next.
Nyan sends $5 US. Sonky
Nyan.
fasting.
Thank you,
Thank
Nyan.
you, Nyan.
Thank you, Nyan.
Borker.
Classic
Lord.
Nyan right there.
Mr. SP with $2.21 US dollars. Thank you. Very odd, like specific payment there, but thank you. Appreciate it. Sunset City, a podcast that still talks about Sonic. Yeah,
Hell
that should be
yeah.
our new.
We
that should be
didn't
our
give
new.
up.
Actually,
Yeah,
whatever
that should be our
Dave said
new,
earlier,
like,
that was pretty
tagline.
good.
Like, we're
Whatever-
still
whatever
here.
Dave said, that was
Yeah.
pretty good.
That was literally Nick's initial proposal for the podcast.
What? Did we just...
The #1
die.
spot for Sonic chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who, that's me now, right?
Yes, it is you now, Borker. Oh.
All right, there's our friend KB with the $10, the $9.99 US dollars. Congrats to everyone who got the code to the Sonic Racing Crossworlds.
Closed beta
CBT.
test.
Too bad I don't have a PS5.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I know that's an acronym for
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yes, of course, that's the one.
Come on now. I'm pretty sure CBT is also a thing you can have for a motorcycle.
I don't care.
But like, yeah, I got the code. I'm excited to play it. I'll let you know how it is.
I wasn't expecting to see that collection of letters in the sentence, and it made me laugh.
Borger. It's me with Mike1911. Thank you, Mike. With $4.99. Do you going to discuss racing-themed episodes from the past cartoons related to Sonic? Is there much to pull? I mean, yeah, actually, Sonic X has quite a few. Well, definitely not in this episode, but like, we'd have to do a little research on that one first.
I would love to talk about like Sonic cartoons. I don't feel like we've really delved into that topic.
Yeah, we'll
didn't we
definitely.
do it around time? No?
Yeah,
I want to finish. I want to finish Sonic X.
Yeah.
There's a lot of racing in that one, like Sam Speed.
Yeah, Sam Speed was a whole ass thing. And then, I mean, I think Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog had like a racing episode.
I feel like every Sonic cartoon that ran for a certain amount of time, like Boom had that whole racing thing where they, wasn't they like a big special thing made out of it basically? Like they go to
it was like a racing tournament.
Yeah, that happened.
And I'm pretty sure there was like a Robotnik racing tournament in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. But yeah, there's probably a few things we could mine through. Minecraft reference. So we could always do an episode in the future, because it's probably going to be quite a racy year for Sonic. Let me rephrase that. It's going to be a racing-centric year for Sonic. So we can probably get some more racing-related topics in there. But thank you, Mike1911. Borger for Trey.
All right. So Mr. Krabs, US 199. Thank you, Mr. Krabs. Look at me, I'm Trey. I bought a Sega Saturn for $50. I did.
Oh, look at me, I'm Trey, and I had access to $50 on a whim. Oh.
What is that even supposed to mean? What do you mean?
It's a lot of fucking money.
I guess. It's like most of my groceries for the week, basically.
Oh, look at me, I'm Trey, and I shop at the most expensive of places. Oh.
No, it's not. That's normal. That's actually normal. For a single man, it's normal.
Trey, and I should move.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Trey? I'm actually glad you said that, because that's about how much I spend when I go to the market. I spend around $50.
Yeah. But yeah, in my Sega Saturn, it's an American one, and it's great, and I love it. It's awesome.
Oh. Okay.
All right. God, I'm losing my marbles.
Every time Trey has something nice, I must ridicule him for it.
I'm not crashing out anymore. I am losing my marbles.
Borger. Dilno, 64. He's going to read once more.
Ooh, that's a bar.
Mr. Krabs, $1.99 US dollar. Wario / okay, hold on. It's clobbering time Friday, y'all. Wah.
What was with the wah at the end?
I don't know if the Wario / meant Wario was saying that, but you're welcome.
I'm pretty sure it does. It's just the wah at the end made me laugh.
Wah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what he does.
Mr. Krabs
Says that.
Borger. That's for me this time. Mr. Krabs with $1.99. Thanks again, Mr. Krabs. Gromit, stop clobbering time me cheeks in MR, Gromit. Ah, that's Marvel Rivals, isn't it, Gromit?
Marvel Rivals.
Stop clobbering time my cheeks in Marvel Rivals, Gromit. Thank you, Mr. Krabs, Mr. Krabs.
M.R. Gromit.
Trey.
Mr. Krabs, again with $1.99. Thank you. Gromit, stop torching my cheeks in Marvel Rifle.
Okay, what is this bit? What
is going on?
Why is Gromit fucking Wallace in Marvel?
Yeah, is he a Marvel character?
Actually, that would be so good if they got Wallace and Gromit in Marvel Rivals. In bad news, the people, the development team and the development leaders of Marvel Rivals were laid off. So in another episode of what the fuck do you actually have to do to win at this game, we have Marvel Rivals to add to the Hall of Fame.
It's the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Fucking bonkers.
All right. Have fun with this one, Dylan.
Let's see. KB with the $1.99 US dollars.
Oh no, everybody's supersonic racist.
That is an insane.
That is not what the
thing.
song was about. That was not what it was.
I just don't trust Sonic Team anymore.
But do you think in any of the failed recordings, TJ Davis was like, "Everybody's supersonic racist," and then they're like, "TJ, that's,
like,
that's
whoa,
not the
whoa,
line."
whoa, whoa.
TJ,
Like TJ, you gotta chill out. No. Everybody. Everybody.
Just goes right back
Everybody.
into it.
So, Rocky and Yipper. Now that sounds like a video game title. But Rocky and Yipper sends
does.
$5.10 US edition. Thank you very much, Rocky and Yipper. Came to this episode to hear about the amazing OG All-Stars Racing, and instead I hear criticism of my favorite Green Eyes Sonic game. Good show, though. You must have arrived during the colors discussion. I think I remember this coming
Yeah,
out.
No, maybe
that might be what it
maybe
is.
were they talking about when Heroes? Maybe.
No.
Nah.
Because I'm pretty
No,
sure
because
this
this was
super
well.
chat
This
came
was
in
well
around the
after
time of
that.
Colours.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
okay.
it turns out
Yeah.
that Rocky and Yipper doesn't like Sonic Colors and did mean Heroes, it would be so funny to just spread a rumor that Rocky and Yipper's favorite game is Sonic Colors.
I agree.
We need to find that.
Alright.
We need to do that.
My
We need to
favorite
find.
game.
We need to find someone whose favorite Sonic game isn't Sonic Colors and start a rumor that it is. It
It's
would
like
be
the
so
exact
funny.
opposite of the Sam procrastinates. I don't know if you guys remember this from a long time ago, but there was this it was basically the Sam hates Sonic Adventure meme.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
someone just started saying that, so then everyone started saying it
No,
And,
I remember
just
this
followed him.
where
forever.
yeah, I remember this where Sam, I think said it like jokingly because he was playing Sonic Adventure and I think he was getting like frustrated in it. He's like, "Oh no, I'm Sam and I hate Sonic Adventure" or something like that.
Oh,
And
yeah,
people just took that clip out of the context of the video.
I mean,
It was
I've
just like,
learned
wow,
that Sonic fans have no comprehension of sarcasm.
No. My favorite part of it is that after that, it became that the joke was that it was done in a Mickey Mouse voice, like when you would say it, and I don't know why, but it was like it was a be oh boy, it's me, Sam. And I just think
I hate Sonic.
it's my
Oh, I
favorite
hate
thing 'cause he
Sonic
doesn't sound
Adventure.
like that. He doesn't sound like that at all.
Yeah, but it's like
he
when
doesn't sound like that at all. Here's the thing: I'm pretty sure everyone is in on the
Oh.
bit. I don't think
Here's the
anyone.
thing, he just doesn't sound like that, you know?
Yeah.
I know, but it's like when I'm like with Trey, I'm like, oh look at me, I'm Trey.
look at me.
Exactly.
To be fair, I use that voice for literally everyone now. But like,
Look at me, I'm everyone.
let's move along to the next one,
right.
and I think it is you, Trey.
Yeah. So Mr. Terry Chaos with 420 pounds. Is that pounds?
Yes, that is pounds.
Okay. 420 pounds. I'm actually trying to lose that many pounds, to be honest.
It's so many.
Let's have Sonic R2, Big the Cat only.
You had me until they had me in the first half.
Until
not gonna
Big the
lie.
Cat only.
Yeah.
Sonic R2, Big the Cat only. I want
Sonic
Motobug
R2
to
and
be
Big.
playable one of these games. They gotta do that.
Okay.
about time.
So. Border. It's you, Dilnor.
Yes? Oh, okay. You didn't answer me. KB, the $1.99. To quote Ian Flynn, big is love. Big is life.
That implies that Big is fucking
Man.
railing someone right now.
Ian Flynn again with these references because that's a Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life reference. SMH.
penetrates my
Can't believe who would
butthole.
do this. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I have to say that I don't hate Ian Flynn. I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Hi, I'm Trey, and I hate Ian Flynn.
Hi!
Well,
boy.
I'm Trey Nobles and I hate Ian Flynn.
Oh boy, train novels. Oh boy.
Border.
Oh my god.
So,
Your turn, pup.
KB sends $1.99. Dillhouse is not a meme. Yeah, you're right. Dillhouse is not a meme.
Because it's not good, yeah.
Dillhouse is a
real.
reality.
Don't do that. Do you know how irrevocably that's gonna damage my my entire self?
No,
if we keep doing that.
it doesn't have to. Okay, fine. I won't do it if there's
That's
any
like-
chance it's genuinely going to damage your self-esteem.
Because I see the parallel and I don't want it to continue.
Maybe it's not the worst thing in the fucking world, though.
I don't know. I think it would be.
But that's because you have an irrational hatred of Milhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's funny, but like, I feel like
You call him
if
a
the
pathetic being. You call him.
Yeah.
He's a young man, and he's gone through some stuff. He went through his parents' divorce. He went through a period of when he thought his parents were dead. Like, he's been through it. Milhouse has. He's been fucking through it.
My name is Carolus64, and I am not, and I'm Milhouse.
I'm not Milhouse.
Hi, Bart.
All right.
It's
Is it
okay,
my
I've
turn?
never
Dylan.
said that because
It's
I've never
okay.
talked to Bart Simpson.
Borger.
All right. Oz Productions with $2 dues. Thank you, Oz Productions. All I hope is for a better racing roster for no one? What does that say?
No
Nope.
one.
That's probably a typo.
Are
I
you
don't
saying
know.
that you don't that you hope for a better racing roster for no one?
Yeah,
Like no
nobody
one
gets
should
better
deserve a
Oh,
racing
no
roster?
one gets.
No
I
one
think,
gets it?
No, I think what he's saying is all I hope for is a better racing roster from now on.
I think you're right.
From now
yeah.
on. There we go.
Yeah,
Also,
now
just
on
as I was calling you Milhouse, I noticed that Salty DK Dan in the server just changed his fucking profile picture to a Simpsons one. What does he know? What's he up to?
He's doing something. Something.
One of these days I'll
That's funny.
properly meet Salty.
Well, he's-
Because we've technically met, but we've like unintentionally avoided each other because neither of us knew what either of us looked like. It's so funny.
And very quickly, final super chat. Final super chat. Mr. Krabs with the $1.99. Dylan the Weezer Boy Weezer.
Dylan Weezer, the boy Weezer.
Okay, I feel
What's
like
with these homies, missing girl?
Is
Boy
this
Weezer.
becoming
How do they
bullying?
got up front?
At what point does this become bullying?
When are we gonna do the cover band, Trey? We're gonna do the Weezer cover album.
Oh, I'm so
Okay, he's
down.
into it. Let's do this.
I'm so down.
I don't think I can sing any Weezer songs.
Cause
I don't think I
me
have the
you
voice for that
look
one.
like just like Buddy Holly. Oh.
Oh, look at me. I'm Trey and I can sing. Oh.
Oh, look at me. My name's Pup, and I have to make fun of Trey for everything, even his bad financial decisions. Oh,
That's not true because the fact is you have the money in the first place, so good for you. Oh.
well, that's great, but I spend it all on bullshit, so you can make fun of me for that if you want.
Oh, no, because at the end of the day I have my fair share of bullshit as well, except I don't have the very good bank balance. Oh.
Where's the damn skeleton?
Oh, here he is. Oh.
Oh, here he is. Oh, here he is. The damn skeleton.
It's turning into
Damn
Goofy gradually. Like, oh, Max, the
No,
skeleton is
no.
here.
My son Max.
Oh, wake me up. I'll fucking do it again.
Max,
All right,
better
so-
watch out. That skeleton's gonna show up.
Let's really quickly promote Dave Ace. Dave Ace does some shit.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. He streams a lot, and he's gonna be streaming later for Crossworlds.
Hopefully.
Nice.
And yeah,
Trey.
to check him out. Dave Ace, I think, or maybe it's all backward. We'll get the link somewhere. You'll see it.
Trey, what are you up to?
Just music stuff still. Working to, I'm in the marketing stages of my 2 albums that I've been working on for a good while, and I'm very excited about them. And as soon as I get those out, I am gonna make a video about the process of how I created, like at least like one of those albums. And then from there, I got a lot of video ideas that I'm gonna try to execute well,
Nice.
and then just keep going from there.
Exciting.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
And Dilnor64, what are you up to?
Well, I've been streaming more lately. I think last week I said I'm mainly streaming. I'm putting out a video about some. I just had like a silly rant about how cool Sonic was when they announced him for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And I think it's a fun little video, but I'm still editing it, so it'll probably be out tomorrow. Other than that, I'm going
Heck
to be
yeah.
streaming the closed beta test later today for Sonic Crossworlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. All
Hell
right.
yeah.
And
Pup, what
yeah.
are you up to?
Yeah, you know how it is. Well, I too will be joining in on the fun of the Sonic Racing Crosswords beta test. But I'm also working on my analysis of the final 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Great show. Brilliant show. Watch the fuck out of it and watch my videos. Do it now. And, yeah.
You
Stuff's
should,
happening.
after you're done with the last 2 episodes, you should make the compilation video.
Oh, I
You know,
will,
like-
but I intend on adding a little bonus content to it as well, because I want to cover the prequel comic as well.
Ooh.
Ooh, hell yeah.
I didn't know there was a prequel comic.
Yeah, I
there
still need to
is.
watch. Yeah, I still need to
It's
watch it.
peak.
Trey,
peak,
it's so
I'm
good.
afraid.
Can we watch it? Can we watch it together?
Yeah,
We could watch it
let's do
together. We could do a watch party.
If you guys
I'm
want to
s-
hang out after this and watch that, I'm just probably gonna eat something. So
Yeah, we could
can just
keep
hang
the
out.
we
Yeah.
could keep the call on and then go straight into Sonic Racing Crosswords together, I guess.
yeah.
Well, I don't have access to a PS5, so I will, and then
Well,
plus
we'll
I have
just
that
hang out.
piano lesson thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
Well, I
got
have the piano lesson thing.
He's got
like
the
I said
party
before.
with the girls.
Oh my god, shut up! No, it's not. The girls, just
Trey,
women.
why is the
Just a bunch of
punchline
women.
of why is the punchline of you're very cool? Why does that get to you so much?
Well, because you're not being genuine. That's what it is.
No,
you're
but
just,
what
you're
it
just
is
sitting here.
is I'm basically just like pointing out every time you've got something going on in your life. I'm pointing it out and making mockery of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
But
it
the
could be like,
punchline of this joke isn't you, it's me for having less going on,
This is-
you idiot.
I know,
I'm taking
but
a
I don't want you.
dive.
Here's the thing: I don't want you to think low of yourself. That's
I don't
why.
think
that's
low
why
of myself. I just know that the
that's why I
importance
push you
of
back
comedy
on it.
and the importance
Yeah.
of comedy is sometimes you got to take
You
a
could-
dive.
Yeah, I could like win a Grammy, and you'd be like, "Oh, trade up."
Yeah, no, I would, and deep down, I'd be thinking, God, I wish I had that fucking Grammy. You know,
I wish I won a Grammy.
Whatever, dude. Crazy.
It's like he commences a Tom and Jerry routine to try and steal your Grammy.
that's what I was saying to you the other day, Dylan. Though, is when
Yeah.
I was born, I was just a little man, and I looked up at the world, and I saw a world of Toms. So I decided I must become Jerry, the mouse.
I'm gonna do like a
Oh, I thought you
Kendrick
meant
Lamar.
Tom Topics. I was like, what do you mean?
No,
Yeah.
fuck that guy.
World of Tom
He's
Topics.
not relevant, is he?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Tom Topics.
Then like I'm gonna make a Kendrick Lamar diss track called "Meet the Pups," and it's just about Channel Pop.
That's badass.
Can you
dude.
actually make a Channel Pop diss track and we put it in one of these episodes?
I'm not like, what would I say? Like, he's not even a real
I
dog.
could literally give you.
Like,
I could give you a little list of my deepest, darkest insecurities, and you could work all those
no,
into
we're
it.
not doing that. That's so mean. No,
But it's
I
done
don't
with
know.
my consent. Therefore, it's just
No.
making a really banger diss track.
No, it's like, the Channel Pup, the first VTuber I knew. Channel Pup, not really a dog.
Wait,
Channel Pup.
did you know me before you knew Cirrus?
Yes, I knew of you before I knew Cirrus. Yes.
I'm pretty sure we met at the same time, though, didn't we? Like,
Well, the thing is, I knew of you because I was a fan of your channel beforehand. Because
oh, look
of
at
the
me,
Spider-Man
I'm a
stuff.
fan of Channel Pop.
What do you? This is
Spider-Man
that makes no sense. That makes zero sense. This is me giving you your flowers, my man, because I loved your Spider-Man stuff. I still do.
Wait, was
still
that the
tune in to watch your
2019
Spider-Man
era
stuff.
though? Because those videos were bad.
Yeah, well, it was around 2019.
Oh,
it was like the
he doesn't
top
like
10
it-
like
he doesn't like when
canceled
you
like
mention
live
the
action
Gotham videos.
suits. I think
Oh yeah,
was,
I enjoyed doing those kind of videos, like little
Yeah.
canceled Spidey stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. I love that stuff. Are we still on the air?
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
I
Okay.
think so.
we haven't
Hello,
really said a
everyone.
goodbye, have we? Like,
I mean, I
Goodbye,
guess not.
everybody.
okay,
Well,
goodbye.
Well, thank you, Dylan. I didn't know we were doing. Okay, goodbye.
Well, I mean, we talked to everybody. We got everything done, right?
That's true.
Goodbye.